So respawn, get in the sandbox. Nitedemon, get in the sandbox. Come join me in the sandbox. Last week we were in the weapon sandbox.
He threw sand in my face. Sorry. I thought we were in the sandbox. It's the kind of thing he would have done.
Do you have your shovel? Do you have your pail?
He's hitting me, Dad. Okay, I'll behave now.
Oh, I'm taking a drink.
Well, the viewers took your side, Damon. They're like, shut up, Respawn, let them talk.
We will pass this issue along to the dad.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
A show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more.
What makes us different? Well, for starters, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 info, news, and opinions.
We encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter.
Now, on with the show.
Do I sound right? Do I sound normal?
I mean,
Yeah,
those
or my
two
robot.
things are not mutually
No,
exclusive.
you sound fine.
Good.
Good volume, good clarity, good Britishness.
Yeah,
Good
you know it's all
accent.
just going to go downhill from now on.
Absolutely.
The clarity or the accent.
Both.
So where do we want to start this slow motion train wreck?
We could start by introducing ourselves. That would be a good one. I know we do it every week, but this is for the people that don't actually know us.
Who really knows us, though? I mean, who really knows that the
Nobody
nice
does.
British man over there is Nitedemon, the mastermind behind the show, and the reason that any of these ever see the light of day, or that I'm Peroty, the big pink titan that will no longer be shoulder charging anyone come December, and then Christmas Day Respawn over there, who's just had the best week, partially because he's no longer going to get shoulder charged by anyone in December, and for another reason that I'll let him tell people later, because I've already spoiled it for people on Twitter. I don't want to spoil it live for his throngs and an army of followers watching him and hanging on his every word. But he is no one responsible in real life, our hunter, because we are two titans and a hunter.
I, ladies and gentlemen, have done something remarkable this week, right? So, Bungie.
Can I ask you a question?
After week after
Can
week.
I ask you a question first?
What?
I was there for part of it, wasn't I?
No.
I was.
No, you weren't. See what
I
happened.
gave you the magic. I passed on
See
the
what
magic.
happened. Look, before
We had a
get too far
conversation
into
at the
this-
start.
Before we
and
get
then
too far
I
into
said
this,
I was passing on the
what he's
magic.
referring to is I told them, hey, it's the end of the week. I just got home, got my computer. I'm going to run my Vex runs. Who wants to join? And people on the chat started getting each other together, and eventually somebody saw that Nitedemon was on, sent him an invite, and he comes to join. Right?
No.
Nitedemon-
I said I'll come and join you.
Yeah, like I said, he came to join. And we get all the way to Atheon. And as soon as we kill the gatekeeper and the Atheon encounter starts, Nitedemon's like, sorry guys, I gotta go.
You'd already lost one person before that.
What?
But I said I'm passing on my greatness to you, Titan to Titan. Would you just like to care to explain to the people
I actually
what you
didn't hear
actually
that part. I'll have
what,
to go
what
back
did you
and
actually
review the
complete
video,
this
'cause I didn't
on?
hear that
What
part.
character did you complete this on?
Hold on. You're jumping ahead of the story. Right? So,
I
Don't-
just want you to admit it.
don't spoil the cake before we've had a chance to eat it, dude. Calm down. So, Nitedemon bounces out immediately. All this crap that he's saying, I don't remember him saying that, but it's all on video. Somebody can confirm or deny. I don't know. Okay. So, he dips out. We get some more people. We kill Atheon. This is on my hunter, right? In this order, I go Hunter, Warlock, Titan. Because I'm hoping, beyond all hopes, I'll get it on the first two. Right?
Predictable.
Because historically
told you.
speaking,
I said
Historically
should
speaking,
have led with
every-
the Titan.
exotic I've got in this game, I've gotten it on the Warlock. Don't know why. Coincidence, whatever. Right?
I told you
Warlocks
I passed
are-
on the magic.
And
Warlocks are lucky. That's just how it is.
yeah, obviously. So we do it with the hunter, and everyone's like, are we gonna do the checkpoint? I'm like, no. They're like, why? I'm like, because you know what? I'm so tired of not getting it. This week I'm going to be superstitious. We're just going to do 3 full runs. Just in case doing the checkpoints was screwing us up. Right? So then jumped on the Warlock. We lost some people. Had to put another team together. Went and did it with the Warlock. Right? Still didn't get it. So at this point, I've given up on hope. Right? If I didn't get it on the Warlock is the lucky charm. I'm just going through the motions at this point, right? I'm just getting some people together. We got some people together. We were actually enjoying ourselves. I didn't even care that we were doing the raid, right?
Did it drop for anybody at this point?
No, not yet. Nobody had seen
Not
one
a
at this
one.
point. So I jump on the Titan, right? The final one. And we're having a good old time. We're just, enjoying life. I'm really bad at Titan jumping, so the only times I died in the raid were because my Titan couldn't clear a gap. Right? And so at the end we kill Atheon, right? And I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to look. I immediately turn my back to the altar and I walk backwards, which was kind of an awkward experience, right? So I'm trying to like not hit the walls and I'm walking up backwards. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom on the screen, like I saw a flash of gold, right? And because I just wasn't expecting anything at this point. Like on the stream, I went back and watched the stream because I made it by itself a highlight. And like the time it popped up on my screen and the time I reacted to it popping up on my screen, you could have made dinner, right? I'm just like, what? What? No way! So I go in. I don't have room for it. First of all, like dumbass me. So I had to make room for it. Nobody believes me. Like, yeah, no, show us, put it on. So I had to make room, pick it up, put it on, and then shoot it. And then everyone was all excited for me. Thank you very much for that. And also, you know what? I knew for a fact I was going to get this gun. Day one, I bought this. And then I put on that chrome freaking color scheme that it came out on day one that I almost didn't even get to freaking use, right? But I was that confident I was going to get it, and then I almost didn't. So I do have the Vex. It took a while, but I got it. Here it is, right here. It has not left my inventory since I put this bad boy on. Took it into Crucible because I had to, right? I wanted to go into Gamut, but they're like, no, you got it. You got to take it into Crucible. Took it into Crucible, played it on the controller. Dear God, right? On controller, I saw the damn beams curving towards guys and killing them. I was like, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. But I was still bad. So I swapped to mouse and keyboard. I lost the functionality of the controller, basically what's going to happen in about 30 days. And I was doing about the same, without having that aim assist. But I did play a few games with that aim assist enabled, and I see like so many things were clear why that was one of the most used guns on controller. It's like because that thing is the toaster in full auto form, right? That thing was seeking out people. I was like, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And to this day, I still haven't gotten a single kill with the linear version because I suck. But yeah, auto rifle, it's just so good mid to close range, dude. It's disgusting.
So you're not going to be carrying us in trials this weekend?
I'll carry everybody who wants to go.
Yeah. So Respawn, I'd just like to say on behalf of all the Titans everywhere, you're welcome.
Yeah, whatever. It has nothing to do with Titans.
Titan love.
Nothing to do with
Sharing the
Titans.
Titan love, my brethren.
No, the Titan love comes with you guys freaking nuked.
No,
somebody decided
you got it on the Titan. You were given the blessing by the Titan when we first started.
You gotta
synergy.
go back. Somebody needs to clip that and show it to me because I don't believe that's a thing.
I did. I said to you, I'm bringing my Vex into the raid so that Atheon knows that one person in here has got the Vex. So it's designated to somebody else.
Me luck. How does that wish me luck?
Because I'm there for you. I was there to support you. I didn't need the Vex, did I? Obviously, I'd already got it and the Catalyst. So I didn't need it. I was there to support you, Titan to Titan. Although you were on your Hunter at the time, but you should have gone with the Titan. Should have led with the Titan.
Oh, you
lead
were
with the Titan.
No, I don't lead with.
Should have led with the Titan.
No,
well, that's why. That's why it's taking you all this time. Because you're faffed about.
I still play the Titan every week. What are you talking about?
But you don't lead with it. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nobody leads a Titan.
You've got to continue. to get the catalyst, you've got to continue on the character that you got it on, don't you? So you've got to continue going through and do the catalyst on the Titan.
Oh, I guess I'm not getting the catalyst. That's unfortunate. Well, can't
So
have everything we want.
apparently it was 46 clears. So says the Charlemagne bot.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
46
but
clears later,
40
Respawn got
it's
his Vex.
two or three of those were not chest clears, so it was actually like 41, 42. But it was still in the early 40s. So yeah.
You're not sitting at 77 or 112 or
Not like some of
Yeah,
these
I mean-
other people. And honestly, I feel sorry for you guys because I thought I was getting hosed being in the 40s. I was playing with a guy that had 78. He claimed, because I specified, I use 78, chested clears. And he goes, yeah. Oh, looted clears? He goes, yeah. I'm like, that seems kind of sketch, but if it's true, dude, I feel bad for you. I really do. Because that sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, there's
But it
nothing
is what
worse
it is.
than just waiting on RNG to show up and go, okay, I've done what you've asked of me many
Right.
many times,
Right.
and nope, I'm just unworthy because RNG is a cruel mistress
He is.
standing behind
She
you with a machete, ready to lop
Well,
your head
she's
off.
a cool mistress for some people. She clearly has her favorites because by the time I got my first AZ plays had 3, I think. Somebody else that kept playing with us. Every time he played with me, he got another one. So, you know, she does have favorites, but as long as I got mine eventually, I'm okay. I'm okay. She can have it, whatever.
As
I'm
long as you
saying
have
that
one.
now because
I'm
I
glad
have
for
it,
that.
but I'll change my mind as soon as the next exotic comes out. I'll be mad at
So
it
there
again.
you go, guys.
Yeah.
No more ranting, no more whining, no more crying like a big baby. That's it. It's over and done
Who
with until the next
said
raid,
that?
and then we'll have another 44 runs.
Who said any of that? There's a lot to complain about. I'm sorry, sir. I do not condone the things that you are saying at the moment. sir.
Consistent whining and crying like a big baby, I
That's
think is
right.
more on brand.
That's right, man.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
still have friends that don't
About
have
the
that I can complain
Vex, I
for.
must
I'm
preference
the
about
voice
the
of the
Vex then.
people, okay? And as long as there are people out there
No,
that don't
you are
have the
definitely
Vex,
not the voice
I
of the
shall
people.
be their
You are the
champion.
voice of some people. Some people.
The grumpiest people.
Oh,
Exactly. So, shall we tell the grumpy people what's happening next week in Destiny?
I'm not sure if that'll cheer them up or not, but we can sure tell them.
Next week, you can spend a day at the lake with your fire team when the Lake of Shadows Nightfall returns. It's not going to be a double Nightfall loot drop next week, but at least it's the shortest Nightfall. And Shax has felt sorry for us all, and he is bringing Showdown back to the Crucible.
Which is good news, because I apparently have missed the last Showdown weeks on the weekly challenges, even though I'm sure I had played them. My weekly challenge says I have not touched Showdown, so that's where I'll be next week. Showing
There
down,
you
throwing
go.
grenades.
Yeah, don't forget, each week Shax will bring a featured game mode, which I think the only one that isn't in the seasonal challenges is Mayhem, but Showdown, Rocket League, Iron Banner,
Rocket
those ones
League?
are all kind of
Rocket League's up this
the
week.
Rockets. Yeah, Rocket League's up this week.
A whole league of them.
But anyway, yeah, he brings a featured mode, and that is one of the challenges on your card, I believe. I think is it something like 75 kills in Showdown?
You
I don't know.
I
I think.
check that and see what it actually is, because
That's PvP related.
But
And-
it's
and
on the
it's-
challenge list in your
it's very-
inventory if you have a look.
Respawn doesn't have any kind of weapon to go into PvP.
where
or
is that
anything.
at?
It's very disappointing. It is.
Seasonal challenges.
Seasonal. Come on, open up my menu. It's not opening up the menu side, but there it goes.
And speaking of our seasonal challenges, while Respawn goes to investigate that, don't forget the Master of All challenge, which is completing all seasonal challenges during Season of the Lost. 75 of those will give you a large pile of bright dust. That is 500 bright dust, as far as I'm aware. Still haven't done it, so I still can't 100% confirm it, but I'm sure it is about 500 from the last couple of times I've done those. But that is, I think there's about 78 challenges in total, so you can miss 3. So if you're not particular on like maybe doing a Grand Master and completing that, then you can skip that one. Maybe skip some of the other ones that you don't like doing. But as long as you do 75, you should be fine.
Yeah, so it's part of week 4. And you just have to complete matches. Just complete matches in the Showdown Crucible playlist. Earn bonus points for wins. So you don't even have
There
to
you
do
go.
well. You just have to play them. And Showdown is where you fight for valor in a 3v3 by defeating opponents and preventing revives. Win the most rounds, and then you face off in an elimination showdown. And level advantage is disabled 3v3. So if you want to play on your semi-trials practice before the next trials drops, Showdown's a week to do it, and you can get your week 4 challenge done if you haven't done it already.
Nice. So would you like me to tell you what's happening next week in Eververse? Where you can spend your gold and your silver? So our Eververse for the 23rd of November. For silver, we have the Bad Scene exotic emote, which is for 1,000 silver. The ornament for the Tiku's Divination, the Feromancer, that would be 700 silver. We have the Nieman Galley, which is your exotic ship, that would be for 800 silver. And your legendary emote, the I hate these spellings of things that I've no idea the name. Why can't they just put what it is?
Yeah, like the coiffure correction, something about
Yeah.
a haircut.
Yeah, there you go. Haircut correction. It should be haircut correction, please. For
There you go.
500
Haircut
silver.
correction.
Yeah, I've changed the name of it. For your Bright Dust next week, you can have the SK1 multi-band rover, which will be your exotic sparrow for 2,500 Bright Dust. The ornament for the Monte Carlo, the Western Front, that would be for 1,250 Bright Dust. We have the Shatter Shrieker legendary transmat effect for 450 Bright Dust. The Wayfarer's Guise, which is your legendary shader for 300 Bright Dust. We have the Conga Line, which is your multiplayer legendary emote for 1,250 Bright Dust. Definitely be getting that one.
Yep.
We have an exotic ship, the Junkyard Navigator, which will be 2,000 Bright Dust. And then we have some exotic ornaments. The Hunter, for the Mask of Bacchus, we have the Beastly Visage. For the Titans, the Broken Dreams for the Precious Scars helmet.
No.
And for the Warlocks, we have the Necrotic Grips Chimera Sting ornament, and they will all be 1,500 Bright Dust. We have another exotic Sparrow, which will be the Braytech Dreamer 9, which will be 2,500 Bright Dust. The Aim and Fire Rare Emote, which will be 400 Bright Dust. Symbol of Rule, which is your ornament for the Aegis Scepter, for 1,250 Bright Dust. And finally, the Ghost Projection, the legendary Cosmonaut Projection, for 1,500 silver. Bright Dust. 1,500 Bright Dust. There you go.
Go buy the Conga Line. That's pretty much what I heard you say.
Yes, I'm definitely going to buy the Conga Line.
That's one
Amazing
that
how many people have that.
every time you see it in the tower, must join. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Way too much fun.
Now, Respawn, you've got people in watching you, haven't you?
Yeah, I got a few.
There you go. Well, don't they want to know what's happening next week in Destiny and the wonderful stuff they can buy?
They unanimously said no immediately before you even finish your sentence.
Is it because they
Good.
also don't pick up any bounties and thus don't have any Bright Dust to spend and therefore are sad?
No, go ahead, dude.
Well, I'm going to finish telling them.
I mean, you don't have to hit below the belt like that. You know that, right? I mean, that's just mean.
I'm going to finish telling people what's happening with our lost sectors next week. Don't forget, these are the places that you can go and get your exotic items. So if you are searching for legs, helmets, arms, chest pieces of the exotic variety, you can head to the daily lost sector. You can either do the legendary or the master, depending on what light you are. Legendary has a little less drop rate than the master ones. The masters do have a little bit higher chance of these items to drop. You will start off with getting items that are not, you don't already own. And once you own all the items, it will just be a random, say, helmet, legs, arms of whatever the featured exotic is for that day in that lost sector. And whatever lost sector it is for the legendary on one day, we'll jump to the Master Lost Sector the following day. So, for an example, Monday the 22nd of November will be Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City, and that will give you your legs. That will then shift on Tuesday's reset to be the Master, still will give you legs, and still will be in Aphelios Rest. So, Tuesday the 23rd of November is the Empty Tank Tangled Shoreless Sector, and that will be giving your arms. On the 24th of November, that would be the K1 Logistics on the Moon, and that will give you your chests. And PV Shifty has guides for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for you for those. For the 25th will be the K1 Communion on the Moon, and that will be giving you your helmets. 26th will be K1 Crew Quarters on the Moon, will be giving you your legs, and Time Sausage Gaming has got guides for both those days. The 27th will be the K1 Revelations on the Moon, giving you your arms. Then we have Sunday, the Concealed Void, which is on Europa, giving you your chess pieces. And then finally, back around to Monday, will be Bunker E15 on Europa, will be giving you your helmets. And PV Shifty has guides for you for the rest of the week. If you don't like those, I still have the Legionless channel and Ebontis' channel, which give you alternate guides of doing different things. I mean, Ebontis will take you through like a Lost Sector and not use any exotics, for example, so that it shows you, what you can actually use if you're a new player coming into the game. So yeah, try those out.
Ebontis will take you by the hand and carry you through the Lost Sector, telling you where all the enemies are, when they're going to show up, and how exactly you should get rid of them.
Yeah. So the only bad thing about the Lost Sectors, no, sorry, not the Lost Sectors, the only bad thing about the Eververse for the following week, week 15, is that it's not actually in the database just yet. So we may have a week where I don't read you what's happening in Eververse. It's just a surprise when it all drops with the 30th anniversary. Although, to be fair, it's week 15 isn't the 30th anniversary, it's the week before. So maybe they'll update it and let us know. And then I'll let you guys know. With lots of love from me to you.
Mm-hmm. Something to do while you're ignoring your family on U.S. Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, indeed. I will now hand you over to Peroty, who will take us through this week at Bungie for the 18th of November 2021 in all its glorious form.
Do you have a cold drink? Do you have a warm drink? Do you have an alcoholic drink? Do you have a snack, possibly a backup snack? And do you have like a third snack waiting in the wings? Because you might need all of those.
You're definitely going to need coffee to stay awake.
Are there rules here? Do we let you read everything and then we write notes and go through it afterwards? Or do you want us to interject after you've said something? I don't know why I'm actually asking that, because I know he's just going to interject.
Right. I mean, it's a nice thought for you to ask that. I mean, if we could get through like each piece first, like each individual, like, hey, well, let's talk about this, like even just like the flux grenade. If we could talk about that, like cover all those changes, then just at least get through what's changing, then talk about it. It doesn't need to be like all of the hunter changes and then talk about it, because we'd be here all night.
Yeah,
might be here all night anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, you do.
No stories. No stories.
Hey! You just said. You just said I had to wait for him to finish.
No
stories. Don't you come in saying stuff after the fact. No, that's not the agreement. That's not what you said.
To be fair, he did just say no stories, right on back of the other thing he just said. So he did just say it. So last week we were in the sandbox throwing sand at each other with weapons, which is what Bungie wants us to do. They would prefer we be good this week and not throw sand at each other in the form of abilities. So when you're thinking abilities, this is all the abilities: supers, melees, grenades, and your actual class ability. So yeah, this is basically all the things that aren't guns. Or I guess vehicles, but really, unless you're running people over with your Sparrow, vehicles aren't real.
Well, there is one super that does have a gun. Sorry.
Fair enough. And just to be clear, these changes are all coming out on December 7th with the 30th anniversary. Now, the 30th anniversary, you don't have to buy. That's a whole thing you can buy, and you can do that, and that gives you all the pretty anniversary things. If you ignore that, spend zero monies, and don't buy that, you're still getting these changes. These changes are still hitting the game. It's just happening at the same time as the 30th anniversary, but you do not have to buy the 30th anniversary to get these changes. Now, that's out of the way.
Imagine that. If you bought into the 30th anniversary and you had to deal with all of these changes, and people that opted out went, "Ha we still have all of this."
Haha,
That
I
would
will
just be
shoulder
comical.
charge you for free.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's not like, hey, if you didn't buy it, these changes won't affect you. So you have people that purposely don't buy it so they can still one-shot shoulder charge and or whatever else they want to do, right?
I can still do that. I can just go to Destiny 1.
Within Destiny 2, you troll.
Pay to play, pay to lose, pay to be irritated.
Destiny 1 is paid for many times. Money, blood, salt.
So much salt.
I actually did it the opposite way around. I owned Destiny 1 on the Xbox One for quite some time, but because my friend didn't have an Xbox One at the time, I bought it on the 360 so I could go back and play with him, and I actually took him through his first Vault of Glass raid on the 360. That was interesting. Anyway.
But back then the 360 wasn't... You didn't know how bad it was back then.
That's a particular sort of pain.
Yeah.
And now we're here in the sandbox with our winds of change. So Bungie's going on to say, again, this all happens in December. This is not an entire look of every patch note, every change they're going to do. They seem to think that the whole list would be too boring for us to look at. And I agree with Fallout and Cool Guy and say, boo, tell us what's going to happen so we know. One thing they do call out is they basically have new systems to the games, which they've been building behind the scenes. They've been talking in the past weeks about, hey, we're the tools we're using to make these games are changing and getting better. So they're able to do
fine-tuning.
Fine-tuning. In their word, we're giving ourselves more balancing knobs to tune than we've ever had before. And you'll start to see why that's important as you read on, which is where we get to. So one of the things they're able to do now is, for the entire time we've had Destiny, all of your abilities have had like one cooldown. Like all your Hunter abilities was a cooldown, Titan abilities cooldown. The only difference of that being with Stasis, because that was a whole different underlying system.
Stasis had longer cooldowns.
Yeah. So now they're actually able to break those out, and they say one of the examples of that is the Hunter's Arc Strider's flux grenades. So basically, one thing they want to do is say stronger grenades, we want those that take longer to charge. Weaker grenades, charge faster, throw them, make Shaxx happy, throw more grenades. So the flux grenade for the Hunter Arc Strider, they've changed the charge time to be 100 seconds slower, from 82 to 182 seconds. So go get yourself that dinner. Have Respawn complete the raid.
That is 3-minute grenade cooldown. Let's think about that. That is a 3-minute grenade cooldown. And how long do some of these matches usually last?
3 minutes. So there you go. What you do get for your 3-minute grenade cooldown is you do have a 1 kill in PvP. If your attached detonation damage is going up 100 as well. So they gave it 100 more seconds and 100 more damage. Balance, sure. So it goes from 150 damage to 250 damage. So if you can stick someone with that grenade, you've waited, either thrown at the get-go or waited 3 minutes to throw a second time, you've got your kill with it. It also does do 15% more PvE damage on top of the 100% base damage increase. So it'll be a lot more damage in PvE. They have removed the projectile tracking. They did add a small aim assist. How much? Small much. The throw speed is 117% faster, and it sticks to all surfaces. Your friend, your face, your Telesto bolts, it breaks the game. Ice crystals, it sticks to everything. So more powerful grenade, but you have to use it more wisely in PvP, and or you're sitting around waiting for it to charge for another 3 minutes. Questions, comments, concerns?
Nope.
All right. Well, then the other example they gave on sort of the other end of things was Warlock's Firebolt grenade for the Warlock Dawnblades. They made that one recharge faster by 18 seconds, from 82 to 64 seconds. They reduced the damage per bolt by 25, from 90 down to 65, and it does 15% more PvE damage, which is the other trend of all these changes is PvE got boosted, PvP got nerfed because they want to use guns in PvP, but whatever we want in PvE.
Mm-hmm.
And they do say, the actual grenade charge time obviously will be taking into account your equipped ability, armor strats, and it will actually show that. Like if you actually go and look at the grenade on your character with the things you have equipped, it'll show you the actual charge times, and those will change depending on what kind of mods or what kind of build you spec into.
Yep.
And they do say there are a couple things they want to talk about on the cooldown times in the UI. So the base cooldown time is basically your cooldown time at tier 3. which is for your relevant armor stat, strength, discipline, intellect, whatever. Tier 3, that's basically your base cooldown. And that's because the system technically penalizes you for taking damage. Penalizes you for tanking your stats below tier 3, in which case your cooldown would actually be longer than the base. So you can actually make yourself worse off. You can make your grenades take longer to charge if you have a tier 1 or 2 for some reason. If you're like, no, I don't want discipline, I am completely undisciplined, you can actually hurt your recharge times. They are looking into updating that to be more intuitive in the future. And the cooldown times for your class abilities are not currently displaying due to a technical issue. We're going to fix that in the future as well. So Bungie is very pleased with themselves for this new system they're calling VAX, the Variable Ability Cooldown System. And that's basically, they're going to use this as the basis to build out the Destiny 2 sandbox sort of going forward. They say it's a foundational change in preparation to move all the light subclasses over to the subclass 3.0 system, which is what Stasis currently uses. So for the 30th anniversary, we're using it to change the cooldown of nearly every ability in the game. So whatever you're used to, whatever your muscle memory is timed to, they're going to break it all. I did, just as a total minor tangent, the VAX, Variable Ability Cooldown System, was not to be confused with the VATS, the Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System from Fallout.
Or the
different
VEX.
things entirely. Or the VEX. Mm-hmm. Different things entirely. But she goes on to say, we would really like to get rid of the ability spam in the Crucible. PvE, spam abilities all you want. PV map, ability all you want. We're happy for you to fly around under the map. We don't care. PvP, though, we'd like to, rein in the abilities in because we want it to be all about gunplay. So they flat out say, one of our design goals this year was to reduce the amount of ability spam in the Crucible and put the focus back on gunplay.
Let's get it.
Yeah, period, full stop.
Big
so,
fan.
To that end, they're making the ability cooldowns take longer than average than they were before. They don't want the PvE ability to suffer because of that. So again, they're making these changes to PvP, not PvE. So they've tried to compensate where possible. For example, they've increased all grenade damage versus PvE combatants by 15% or more. So you're getting more grenade damage in PvE across the board. So it should make other things, high-level Grandmasters, raid things, give you a little more firepower and all those things that aren't against other Guardians and other players. They also are using that same, basically when it says combatants, think PvE. If it says, players, think PvP. Because sometimes they stick to that and sometimes they just go, against other things in the game. And you're going, but which one is it? Unless you call it out. So our supers, guys. Our supers are changing. So the super recharge is still going to have a passive component caused by your intellect stat, but it's going to be at a significantly reduced rate. But on top of your passive regeneration, they're also to give you this more super energy by dealing and taking damage to or from opponents. So basically, in PvP, we don't want you to stand around waiting for your super to come up. We want you to go fight things and get your super back. So their goals for all of the super changes were your PvE super uptime should be Your PvE super uptimes should be unchanged, if not a little faster. Everyone should have at least one super in a PvP match, as long as they're engaged in the match and it's not a mercy or doesn't end quicker. Supers should be less frequent in 3v3 modes, where 2 supers in a match is fairly common occurrence. So more supers in 6v6, less supers in 3v3. Your primary weapon should have a noticeable benefit in super energy regen. With this new system, we are scaling energy gains up and down granularly based on the source of the damage, both incoming and outgoing. And outgoing primary weapon damage has a significantly higher return rate of super energy per damage point than any other type of damage.
Hold on, stop.
So what does that tell us, Respawn?
I'm trying to understand. So you're saying...
Use your primary weapons. They gave you weapons with unlimited ammo. That's to be your best way to earn your super energy.
And that's per point of damage, not per kill.
Right. Yeah. They're not saying they're basically saying by taking and dealing damage, that's how your super is going to recharge quicker on top of the, greatly diminished passive recharge rate.
I hear you.
So basically they don't want you standing around in trials waiting for things to come up. They want you in there. They want you engaged. They want you shooting things.
Sure.
And that's how you'll get your super back, which sounds great to me. I have no problems with this.
All right, but if somebody stands in the back of the map sniping you, they're still going to get super damage for the snipe. right?
Right.
Not as much because it's not a primary weapon.
Yeah, they will because they are actively engaged in damage and dealing and taking. But primary energy, and I sort of wish they gave us some kind of number on how much significantly more is, but they make the point of saying primary weapons are going to be the things you want to use to get your super back quickest. That is going to be your fastest route to getting your supers back.
When we're talking about primaries, we're talking about the ones that have unlimited ammo. So anything like bows, auto rifles, scout rifles,
Fighting
sidearms,
lions.
things like that. Yeah.
Fighting Lion new PvE meta. What?
Anything like that is going to be primary. Anything that has special ammo is a special weapon. So even if you've got a sniper in your kinetic slot, it's still a special weapon. So this won't be the same kind of thing.
So basically, get your sweet business and your hard light out, put your Telesto away.
Oh my god! I just realized what you just. Oh my god! No, 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 no.
Auto rifles, scout rifles, hand cannons. And again, anything you can shoot for. That's where you're going to see your biggest gains.
Yeah, but
and I'm sure people will have actual numbers once it goes live.
Warpig freaking sweet business is coming back in a very aggressive way.
Well, I mean, to be fair, hand cannons exist, so But you just go on to say, different supers should come online at different times. They really want to address the super o'clock issue in the Crucible, where basically about 3 minutes into the match, 12 supers are simultaneously popped and chaos ensues. Because this is mayhem. They want mayhem to be its own thing. So, and they do say, we lived in a world where nearly every super shares the same cooldown, regardless of its efficacy in different game modes. So no matter if it was a roaming super, a one-off super, you were on equal footing in terms of how quickly you got that super. And then even if you killed one person or wiped a map and flew over the other side of the map and wiped the team again. So again, just like they did with the abilities, and the grenades are trying to balance those out. If you have a super that you can roam and kill 16 people with, they're going to make that super harder to get than the super that you can just throw down and, say, stand in your little pea puddle and not take any damage.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, they've put all of our people into super tiers with the super friends. So these are the super generation rate tiers that are launching with on December 7th. And they go on to say, these will be tweaked. These will be changed. Subclass the 3.0 changes are coming in February. So this is sort of the first pass at let's see how we can sort of balance these out. They do flat out say, our Void 3.0 is coming in February. This is going to change in February. So you can be angry about it if you want to be angry about it for now. But in February, you can be angry about a different thing. So that's the beauty of the game. Always something to be mad about.
Yay! Told you!
So they did break the tiers up, but basically saying these tiers determine the recharge rates, both your passive and your damage-based recharge rates. It was primarily due to each super's kill potential. So your one-off supers, which are unlikely to wipe a whole team or a whole room full of combatants, are going to be a little bit higher. Your roaming supers, they can and should have a trade-off as a result. They're going to take a little longer to charge. So Bungie has this whole list of supers and how they broke out. I'm going to break them out by tiers and by class because I don't know. I made a little chart that I put in the Discord because it just helped my brain easier. So tier 5 is our fastest recharge. Tier 1 is our slowest. They don't really say how fast. We have no numbers to play with. It's just these will be the fastest, these will be the slowest, whatever that means. So your only tier 5 super of the game, the fastest thing you're going to recharge is your Will of Radiance.
And what's right after that? What's right after that?
Well, nothing. It's just tier 5. That's it. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So Warlocks, you get the fastest one because again, your Will of Radiance, while it has great utility, no kill potential unless someone trips over a rock and falls into the sword or something, or you blow yourself up on the sword because it is a real item. It is a real physical object in the world. You can hurt yourself on it.
Oh yeah.
So going down to tier 4, Warlocks get nothing, Titans get nothing, but we have the Blade Barrage and the Silence and Squall in tier 4.
Yeah, we do.
And again, because those are two supers that
are back, baby.
Yeah, that have massive. It's interesting they put the Blade Barrage and Silence and Squall in the same thing because they are like similar supers, but I'd say they're not. Their kill efficacy is
they're very different.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can clear a room with both, to be sure, One of them
Yeah.
you have a chance of hiding behind something and not dying. The other one will hunt you down and murder your face, your parents, and your
Well, not just that.
descendants for
One of them
generations.
also does not give a damn who's nearby. Enemy nearby? Cool. He's dead. You nearby? Cool. You're dead.
Dead, your friend's dead, everybody's dead. So yeah, so tier 4.
Everybody's
Yeah,
dead.
tier 4, so our second fastest regen are 2 hunters, because the hunters, those poor hunters, they just need the help with those massively killing super potentials.
Right?
So our tier 3s,
I'm glad
right,
you understand. Say it again.
yeah. So our tier 3, right smack dab in the middle, we have one for the Warlocks, which is our Nova Bomb. We have 2 for the hunters, which is the Arc Staff and the Shadow Shot, and then 2 for the Titans, the Burning Maul and the Thunder Crash. So right there, middle of the road, not terribly fast or slow, just nice tier 3, nice round even. Tier 2, as we get to slower and slower recharges.
Oh, since you said that, and I got 2 Titans here with me, we were having a discussion the other night, and I need you guys to tell me. Because I've been sideswiped by your Thunder Crash, right? It hasn't hit me. I died, and the Titan just kept on going.
That's how that's supposed to work.
Okay, because somebody was telling me if you do that, it still detonates, and he was convinced. And I was like, no. I'm pretty sure if you sideswipe, you keep going.
You can be
with your super.
sideswiped, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it deals damage as you pass by.
Okay.
You don't have to like hit the person. Yeah, if you just sideswipe someone, that does deal
damage. It kills you when it passes. It's what it does.
I mean, the rule of the game is don't stand near the Titans. They're dangerous creatures and they're angry.
Jesus, you!
Don't stand near them. That's where you went wrong. If you didn't see if you can't help you at this point.
Him, man. He was on the other side of the map. He spawned in the air and with the flying and I was dying. He's on the other side. I wasn't close.
That's how that works.
You were close by the time he got to you.
But that's keep going.
And I think you have to take some of these into account, that they've bundled them into one kind of tier. So when you look at tier 2, I know we probably haven't got there just yet, but Sentinel Shield, it just says Sentinel Shield. So that is all 3 of the Void subclass for the Titans Sentinel Shields. So
no, somebody went through that, and the bubble.
Where's the bubble?
Specifically, the bubble.
Later, they do talk about the bubble later again in February in the rework. That's why I preface this by saying,
I know there's going to be a
February,
rework.
all of this gets tossed up and our voids are moving around. I think they were just like, we're redoing all of your void in February, so we're not going to spend a lot of time breaking them out. We're just going to stick them all in one place.
Right now it's in that because you can't separate the bubble from the non-bubble. But later on, whenever they rework it, you'll be able to choose the bubble. No, you can't. You'll be able to choose the bubble super specifically or the Sentinel specifically, and that's going to change the super recharge time based on which one you've chosen for your node.
No, but there's the other 2 as well. They've bundled all 3 of them in. So Code of the Protector, which is the bubble, Code of the Aggressor, which is your shield bash one that you can hold the shield and just like tank a load of damage and give out a load of damage from people behind you. And then you've got Code of the Commander, which is the one where you can just run around with your shield like Captain America. They bundled it all together in the tier 2 under Sentinel Shield. Whereas some of the other ones, they have broken it out. Like the Thunder Crash is different from the other one that the Titans do, the Fist of Havoc.
Oh, I got you.
And the Fist of Havocs, they've bundled both of them in together, it looks like, in tier 1.
Yep, and then they do some further tweaking with it down below. But but as we do get to our tier 2s, our poor dear hunters, your tier 2 one, your golden gun, because again, it's your roaming super. Your tier 2 for your Titans, as Nitedemon said, is your Sentinel Shield. All of them. Are on
top
tier
of that, on top of the golden gun, it should be aware. People are going to be like, yeah, but practice makes perfect, gets it back faster. Unfortunately, no. We'll discuss it later on in the TWAB, but they've also tuned practice makes perfect so that you don't get your super back as fast. It is unfortunate. Sorry, continue.
Oh, that's a literal perk of the thing and not just like get good scrub.
Yep.
And then the Warlocks, if you're looking for all your supers, I found them all down here in tier 2. Your Chaos Reach, your Nova Warp, your Storm Trance, and your Daybreak. All there in tier 2. So Warlocks, you can basically either have your Will of Radiance, or you can have your Nova Bomb, or everything else, basically. And then, surprise, surprise, tier 1 with the slowest recharge, the Warlock's Winter's Wrath, because yes, it is. The Hunter, that's where your Spectral Blades will be found. So if you're looking for those, down there in the tier 1, the slowest. And for the Titans, your Fist of Havoc, your Hammer of Soul, and your Glacial Quake, all down there in tier 1. So Titans, best we can do is a tier 3. That's it. So do your primary damage, get your War Rig out, see how fast you can get your super back, because you're not gonna get any kind of recharge from the game. So yeah. And again, and Bungie does say this will all change in February. Void 3.0. For instance, they do say the Deadfall and the Mobius Quiver on the Shadow Shot will share the same cooldown tier, but with the Void 3.0 rework in February, they could have different cooldowns based on potency. Read this as they will have different cooldowns based on potency.
That's what I'm hearing.
And that's what Respawn was saying. The Ward of Dawn, which is the same cooldown as Shield, will be moved to the tier 5 group in Void 3.0. So it sounds like they're basically giving it the same treatment as the Will of Radiance of it's a passive super. You're not dealing damage with it. It's I want to stand here and do damage from this location. So yeah, you can get it back faster all you want. Because yeah, like Respawn said, you'll be able to spec into that specifically like we could back in the day, as opposed to here's a bubble or a shield, or if you hold the button down too long or not long enough, it could be the one you don't expect. And then you're going, well, crap.
Okay, yeah, crap. Crap's a good way to go.
Mm-hmm. So no thoughts on our tiers? Just the ones we're going to shed when they make all these changes and we decide that we hate it?
I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I said last week. It's all pieces of a puzzle that we're not entirely seeing as a whole. Like you said, with Fallout saying, "Show us everything. We want to know everything," because it's so infuriating getting like 3/4 of the patch notes in dribs and drabs, weeks up to the point of it's changing over, and then there's like. I know sometimes there isn't that many important things that are in those patch notes when it actually does change over and it drops. But sometimes there are things that you just want to know before you go running into the game. And I honestly don't know. I mean, this whole rework feels really weird, to be honest. I understand that they want it to be a gun game, but Destiny has always been about the abilities and the gunplay.
And you do have them, but the abilities are not the focus.
But we had a balance in Destiny 1 with abilities and gunplay.
Did we though? I mean, think about it. Like,
well, we had enough.
I was watching the Jez the other day, and him and Dado's wife, girlfriend, whatever, Travel Danielle, they were going back and doing a whole bunch of D1 stuff. And one person was like you, saying all the good things that they remember, and Dado's like, "Are you sure? Because I feel as though you're looking through this via rose-tinted glasses." And then they go through, and then he starts to remember some of the bad things that obviously he didn't remember before. So when you say we had a good balance in D1, did we really? Or are you just thinking that we did?
By the end of D1, after the years of balancing and passes changes, again, I mean, we were certainly in a better place. I don't remember it at all. I haven't touched it since D2 came out. So yeah, my memory is, I mean, hazy at best week to week, let alone year to year. But at least it had the benefit of having, sort of the lessons all Bungie is apparently relearning with Destiny 2, because we started right back at the beginning of scrapping the game from the get-go and then wildly swaying, move everything in this direction, now move everything in that direction. It's too fast, it's too slow, the map's too big, the map's too small, this is that. So
again, it was more focused on the gunplay and less on the abilities. And then they suddenly realized that no, Destiny is this game of gunplay and abilities. And that's why we've had so many buffs to the abilities and exotics that really play into it and all of this. What I don't actually want to come from this is for them to start trying to get this game going back down an esports route again of, it's all about the gunplay. I don't want them to focus on that. I want them to actually make the game fun to play rather than let's try and get this in esports again. I think that was a misstep back then, trying to get it into an esports. This does kind of look like we want it to go into esports. That's why we're cutting so far back on the ability spam, so that yes, there are abilities in the game that people can use, and we've kind of managed to kind of pull those back so that it's more about the gunplay. But same with Halo, you can pick up abilities throughout the game. They're not instant. You can't kind of have an overshield. You can't drop a shield. You can't have a power weapon until the game tells you you can have that. And this kind of sounds similar to how the new Halo is, the Halo Infinite. Though I did pick it up this week. I just downloaded it and had a try. And I tell you what, it's not Destiny. So I've come back to Destiny. But you know, and it was only because I didn't want to ruin my streak on my strikes. I thought I want to play some PvP. I want to play, so I downloaded it while I was playing Destiny. Jumped into it a couple of times. That has its own issues, but I feel like maybe this is a good change. But I'm going to have to wait to see what's going to come of it, because I like the having the ability to shoulder charge. I like the ability to to throw down a grenade, have a
I
wall
bet
up.
you do, sir.
The my and again, as we've been talking, my vague memory of D1 is like your grenades hit harder. Like you know, like I've never felt in D2 that like the grenades and the ability stuff was as strong as D1. Like in Destiny 1, you throw some grenades down, you can clear some, you can hold some territory in control, like you can do some damage. D2, it's like you have a grenade.
Absolutely love the lightning grenades for the Titans.
Yes,
they changed those. They've whatever they've done to it in D2, it just isn't the same feel.
Yeah,
as
you know,
D1.
it took me a long time to first come to the way of the lightning grenade in D1, and then understand how to throw them well enough to actually do some good with them. But yeah, they were absolutely
Are you talking about the lightning or the pulse?
Oh,
No,
the lightning. I much like everyone else said, oh, pulse grenades. I can have 2 of them. They're great. They're amazing. I've got all these pulse grenades. No, the lightning grenades. You throw that thing. That's like
that does some damage, but it's hard to aim.
Yeah, but like in Destiny 1, like it was like the hunter's trip mine that would just stay there and keep tripping you over and over again. It would just be like, no, I own this doorway. You can come to this room, but I will find you and I will zap you. And you will not be happy
when
about
our trip
it.
mines actually killed people.
Yeah, like if anything, I wish they would. I'm glad they're taking some of the grenades up again. Balancing out with it takes you longer to use it, and again, at least you get the one to start with in PvP. But I want the grenades to hit harder. But yeah, but I'm happy to let my grenade be a one-shot kill, especially if I have to stick it to you. Give me that kill. I stick a grenade to your face, I want you to die.
Right.
But I'm perfectly happy with the trade-off of if I do that, I'm good to wait a few minutes to do it again. I can't just grenade, and like wipe a team of 6 with 6 grenades. That's overkill. That's craziness. But I like the risk of reward of I've got a grenade. Maybe this gets me out of a 2v1. Maybe this gives me a kill so I can run away and get the rest of my health back. I can use it strategically, not just to throw grenades. Throw more grenades all day, every day. And that's where Bungie's going. I mean, and that's what they keep saying is we're trying to do in the build crafting. We're trying to get you in the gunplay. Like we're trying to
change Shax's lines though. I mean,
that's for Mayhem. That's for Mayhem. He likes you to throw more grenades in Mayhem.
Do you want to tell Shax he has to say different things? I don't want to tell Shax he has to say
no,
different things.
I'm not. But I'm saying are they going to change his voice line? I'm just saying. I mean, Shax's like throw more grenades, and Bungie's like you have no grenades.
Well, I think he's saying you have to throw more of them because they do less damage now. So it's a quantity over quality kind of thing.
I see.
I mean, to be honest, I don't understand how Silence and Scroll is in a tier 4 when that is one of the most annoying supers.
It's annoying, but it's not deadly.
It is still quite deadly.
No, it's not.
It's pretty. I mean, it itself may not be deadly, but what it allows people to do to you is very deadly.
Yeah. So if you get it, okay. So
if you're slowed, you're dying.
This is why, right? So if it's chasing after you, like if the hunter didn't hit you with it directly, you're not going to die from it. You will outrun it, and you won't die from it because it is slower than you are, significantly slower than you.
Maybe a super fast hunter, but no.
But what I'm saying is, Silence and Scroll shouldn't really be a tier 4. I think Shadow Shot is fine to be a tier 4. You see one of those, you run away from it. But Silence and Scroll is, I think that's a misstep from them. Blade Barrage, okay, it's a one and done kind of thing.
It's not fatal. And as a matter of fact, you Titans very specifically have an exotic that makes it non-fatal and powers you up in the process.
What one's that?
The boots, the heating boots.
No, you can die with that.
Okay. disagree. You know what? I'm not
Do
even
you
gonna
play
argue.
Titan?
I'm gonna
Do
show you
you
the
play
video
Titan?
where
Do
it
you play
shows-
Titan in
where
Crucible?
it shows
Oh,
him
no and no.
from
No
one
and
end to
no.
the other.
No and no.
Nothing
No and
without
no.
dying. Shut up. I'm not even
Is-
gonna argue
No
with
and
you.
no.
I'm gonna
Is-
show you the video where he
is
walks
it-
through it from one end to the other and doesn't die. Shut up. I'm not arguing. I'm looking for the video.
Is it possible? Yes. Is it going to happen every time? No. Is this entire game based on RNG? Absolutely.
Those legs give you a slight chance
I'm not
at
arguing with
not
you.
dying.
I've seen the video where he puts the pants on, the hunter throws a super, and from the other side of the super, he walks through the entire super and out the other end without dying.
I want to see that video
I'm looking for it. Stand by.
because you won't be able to find it because it's a load of rubbish.
No, it's not
It
rubbish,
is.
sir. I had a whole rant about it whenever they first came out after that video. Hold the hell on.
I just think it's interesting. The only thing I'll say about it, again, and since we don't have any numbers, I mean, this could be like a 3-second. I mean, I'm sure it's not. It could be a 30-second half. It could be a 3-minute difference in these tiers. And like Bungie says, these tiers are sort of meaningless if it's mostly going to be based on your primary output damage. Like I want to get my hands on this to say, you know, if I'm just standing around, yeah, maybe a tier 5 is 5 minutes and a tier 1 is 1 minute recharge, just to make the math easy in my big dumb brain. You know, but if I'm out doing damage and I can take my 5-minute recharge down to a 2-minute recharge, then does it really matter? Like, yeah, I get my super back a little bit slower than if I were just not doing damage. And the fact that it's dealing damage and taking damage. So if I'm actively playing, I'm increasing my super recharge rate anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the tiers, again, I mean, I like that it's, you know, again, it gives them more knobs to play with. It gives them more ability. I just think it's interesting that the hunter is the only one with the stasis super way up in tier 4, and the Titans and the Warlocks are down in tier 1. Which again, I don't care that much. These tiers are meaningless until we actually see and know what the differences are. I just think it's interesting with stasis being stasis where it all sits. And I still can't use my Glacial Quake because I'm still a drunken toddler. But that Warlock's Winter's Wrath that's spicy. Well, while Respawn looks for his video, the rest of us are going to take it down a notch. We're going to take it down a notch. We're going to leave the world of supers. And we're going to talk about the non-super abilities.
And until he finds the video and then comes going, see?
Exactly.
You know
and,
it exists. Shut up.
and then we're all going to have a story time and watch the video, and then it'll be like, on a tier to 18 resilience, here's what I'm able to do with this one time ever. And I believe that it happens. I don't think it's going to happen every single time. If we jumped into a private match right now, I don't think 10 out of 10 I'd walk through your super. Back in May, you know, Kevin from Bungie shared the foundational pillars of how, you know, where they want abilities to sit in the PvP sandbox. So as a quick refresher, here's where they want to be. They want weapons to be the primary ways people engage in combat. Non-super abilities, they want those to accentuate and augment the combat, but should rarely solve the encounter by themselves. We don't want the ability to be why you're winning or losing. We want it to be gunplay. Abilities should have clear strengths, weaknesses, and counterplays, and build crafting is rewarded within the moment-to-moment combat loop in Destiny. So we want you to use guns. We want you to build into your abilities. We want there to be trade-offs as opposed to, let me just use this class because it all recharges the same rate anyway. It's sort of a, you know, toss-up what I'm going to do. They want us to make decisions. You know, we're very slowly, again, just taking those tiptoes out of looter shooter into an RPG. Again, not running there, but just taking little tiptoes, just tiptoeing in that general direction.
Question for you, Kevin, Eric, Mike, and whoever else is listening. Right, you want it to be more gunplay. Okay, fine. Give me more vault space because I have guns.
Yes.
I have perks on those guns that I'm collecting for said gunplay and abilities, you know, to accentuate my gunplay and me to perform better with these weapons. And I like the variation and I like collecting the weapons because there are a vast array of weapons. I need more vault space. I cannot maintain what I've got and what's probably going to be coming up in like the next 3 to 6 months time without having to kind of get rid of some of the weapons I want to keep. Now I need the vault space, and I'm not the only person. I know there are a lot of other people, but this is something that I get really frustrated with them not actually acknowledging it. No, Destin from IGN has messaged them, you know, directly and has had no response from any of them to say that there's going to be any kind of increase in vault space at all.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely a problem. I have massive vault, ran out of vault space today. I was shocked that I ran out of vault space, and then I went and like removed like a dozen sparrows and some like 6 versions of the same gun I was holding on to and some duplicate exotics, and now I'm back down to 454 of 500. But still, I ran out of vault space earlier, and I don't feel like, other than the like 8 Jurassic Greens I need to sort through, I don't really hoard weapons. I mean, armor, I don't hoard. Like my armor, it's like I have like a backup pair of pants for a long car ride, and that's about it. As far as armor goes, my whole vault is weapons, and I ran out of space. And I've said for the last couple of years, I mean, I agree, we need more vault space. You can't keep giving us guns. I mean, that was partially what sunsetting was supposed to do, but like you need to do something if you're not going to sunset things and people are still going to use them and enjoy them. And Nitedemon wants to have every weapon of every role. He should be able to do that. You keep saying we're going to bring out new guns and new things and new perks and do this and rework that and rework this. You're just encouraging people to keep all those roles because, like you said, hold on to your adrenaline junkie rolls. That's why I've got like 8 Jurassic Greens with adrenaline junkie on them, because I don't know how this is going to pair when the change comes out. You can't.
Yeah, so you're holding on to them now
Yeah.
for whenever things happen, and the same that I've held on to all these other weapons in case that there's a sandbox change and this perk will become kind of top tier in this meta. I mean, like the pulse monitor. I've got quite a few weapons that had pulse monitor on it, and it's been a perk for like the last couple of seasons, and now they're buffing it, and I'm glad that I've held on to those weapons because then I can try those out. But if I'd have kind of sharded them as and when, I'd have maybe regretted it, because those are good weapons, and with that perk on it now, it may really improve my gunplay.
Right. Like Bungie, you can't say build crafting is rewarded and then turn around and go, but we're not going to give you any room in 3 more years to, hold any of these things you want to build craft with.
Chad wants you to realize that we also have weapon crafting coming up soon, so that's probably
No,
reason.
we know that. Yeah, that's why I was saying like
Right.
3 to 6 months time. It's mind-boggling what we've got kind of coming up with the space that we have at the moment, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger because you're going to get more exotics, because we're getting the Galahorn in a couple of weeks, so it's another exotic to go in to our vault or on our persons. And then when we get the Witch Queen drop, there's potentially going to be another 6 exotics, because you get maybe 3
easily
3 armor pieces and maybe 3 exotic weapons. So there's going to be at least 1 or 2 on the season pass, 1 hidden one that we'll have to go and find. And then you've got the raid exotic as well. So you've got like about 7 or 8 added to what we've already got exotic wise. And that's without having a look at new armor that's coming in that may have new perks that you might want to keep. It's just it's getting too much.
And if Bungie's plan is to say with weapon crafting, it's more or less going to invalidate all the things you're holding on to, tell me that now so I can stop holding on to them, or let me know how weapon crafting is that going to make this better in some way? Is that going to can I change the perks of my existing weapons, or is it going to all new weapons going forward can have the weapon crafting, and we're more or less gonna unofficially sunset everything you have because it's it's armor 1.0, it's weapon 1.0. You can use it, but why would you? Because it can't take advantage of XYZ ability and mod and everything else going forward. And we don't know because they don't tell us. They'll tell us many things, but not these things.
No.
But even after all the weapon crafting and this and that and the other, man, you still have like different armors for different builds, and that still takes up a lot of space. So in the end, we still want to be able to have, more vault space. Or even, okay, I have a gun that I like that has been sunset, and I like to use it in Crucible. I want to use it. I want space for it. Or I have a lot of guns like that. Whatever. Point is like, we should have the ability to have more space if we want to. That should not be such a finite rule of this game, when every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every freaking mobile game, everybody out there will sell you space on a server for more storage. Yeah,
I mean, for Bungie, for a game where you're constantly bringing out interesting ghosts and sparrows and ships,
yeah,
why would I collect any of these? Why would I buy them? I have literally no.
Well,
mean, you,
your
I
storage.
break them down. They can live in my collection, I guess. But beyond that, it's
yeah,
like
you make a good point.
it's just
The
part of my vault
collection
space.
thing
Like,
is still something that is overlooked, and we've discussed this before, comparing it to Fortnite. Now, I know with Fortnite you could put weapons into your collections, and on that page it would be the weapon that you collected with those perks, and for some value of in-game currency, you can pull that back out, and you can actually buy vault space in Fortnite, and I'm talking about the PvE side of this at the moment. But it's in-game currency. I play the game, I get the currency, and I can add more spaces to my vault through just playing the game. I don't actually have to spend real world money, and I can add more stuff to thing as well as having the collection pages. Now I think they need to do something either with the collection pages for us, so that if you had a weapon and you wanted to pull it back out of collections, either you can keep pulling that weapon back out of collections for maybe like a shard or something, or a couple of pieces of glimmer, and it will give you a random roll each time until you can get to the one that you want, if that's the way that they can do it. I'd much rather prefer putting the weapon in that I've actually got, so that if I want to at some point I could pull it back out. But yeah, it's one of those frustrating things that they're either not going to do it, but I'd rather them just come out and say, look, we cannot do it. There's no way that we're going to do it. Please stop asking. This is the end of the conversation. But to not actually say anything about it is the most frustrating thing to do with it.
It is, and they go on and on and on and on about how we're going to be an MMO. We're trying to go towards being an MMO. We're trying to be MMO-ish and all this other stuff. Okay, or RPG or whatever they use, right? RPG, MMO, both stand the same. When have you ever played an MMO and you have not been able to increase your storage space? Any MMO.
right? It's
Right?
like
Guild
again,
Wars
like,
1,
you
Guild
know,
Wars 2, WoW, freaking Final Fantasy 14. Name one where you couldn't expand your inventory.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want
Or-
to turn this into a moan about not having vault space, but I think it's a core component to what's actually they're trying
While
to
you're
build
making all the
into.
changes, why not? I mean,
Yeah,
it's while you're under the hood. I mean, you might
They
as
want
well.
me to have more weapons.
right?
I want the more space.
Yeah.
yeah, and Bungie, this is the thing you're holding on to be like, haha, and space. Great, but please still tell us, because we really would like to know and would like to have it.
One way or another, give people closure. Give people like Nitedemon and myself closure. Hey, we're working on it. Hey, we're never gonna do it. Shut
Yeah,
up.
I will
Simple.
buy silver to give you money for vault space. I will
Yeah.
make that happen. That's the thing I will buy.
I guarantee, aside from these
will give
Eververse
you real
things you
cash to
guys are
make this
doing,
happen.
that will make you more money than anything else in this game, hands over fist. I promise you.
Yeah.
Promise you.
Bungie also feels, as we've been talking about, ability use in Crucible is too high. So they're making changes to the ability recharge rates, and they bold this and underline it. We are not making changes to the PvE values. These are not changing. So this part of the show where we talk about the non-super abilities, none of these are changing PvE, player versus environment, but PvP, player versus player. So
I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't even know what those meant.
and PVM, the map is still just the map takes whatever you give it. So
Yep.
the map's just there to
Also, found out what I was looking for. Turns out it was a dusk field grenade he just walked through without freezing or dying. My bad.
Accept your apology.
doom doom da doom. Bow.
But I
Is
mean,
the
it
sounds we
looked,
put in there.
visually speaking, it did look like a tornado. So that's why it was stuck in
Yeah.
my brain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yes, you got your Nitedemon.
I apologize. Shut
You
up.
got.
That was a lovely apology.
So subclass neutral game perks. Your recharge rate is basically being reduced by about half in PvP, just across the board. Recharge rates not changing in PvE. So just your ability rates, they're halving them in PvP. They want you to use your guns. Use your guns, love your guns.
You
hold
mean
your
they're
guns.
doubling them?
No.
No, they're having recharge rate, doubling recharge time. Sorry. Gotcha.
And so they're trying to target abilities that activated when you're out of combat, ones that require a single button press, or that returned too much ability energy. Those are the things they really were looking at on this pass. And stasis, this is the basically the things that they've touched with this PvP recharge thing. For stasis, it's your Whisper of Shards. Just that fragment across the board, all 3 characters. Your Whisper of Shards, half as effective now. Warlocks, oh dear, my dear sweet Warlocks. Your Arc Web for Stormcallers, your Rising Storm, your Ionic Traces for Stormcallers, and Electrostatic Surge. Half recharge rates on all those. Your Benevolent Dawn for the Dawnblade, and your Dark Matter for the Voidwalker. Those all got hit hard. So recharge rates in PvP, half for all those things. PvE, recharge away. Hunters, your massive list is the Practice Makes Perfect, your Gunslinger. That's it. Your PvP, halves that rate. And Titans, Aftershocks and Inertia Override on the Striker Titans got hit. So those are the things where, again, 1 button presses out of combat or return too much energy. They're now half as effective as they were in PvP starting in December. Pause for anger. No anger detected. So your subclass.
You lucked out. I didn't hear you. I was too busy killing some guy in Gambit.
Well, there you go. He deserved it. So now, and there are a couple of subclass in super perks, and these perks scale down. As your energy returns as you get kills with your super. So again, their goal here is to stop the cross map, the spawn kills with the same super in PvP, so you don't get killed. Wake up, and there's a guy again, same super, murdering you all over again. PvE, no change. So, and again, this brings up the question. Speaking of Gambit, of where does Gambit fall in this? Can I still cross map kill everybody in Gambit with PvE because that's a PvE VP?
Yeah, they didn't mention that at all.
So
There's nothing.
Yeah, so I'm going to assume it falls into the PvE bucket here because the PvP component is there, but yeah, I'll be really curious to see how that plays out. Anyway, but the 2 perks they touch here in your super is your Everlasting Fire with your Dawnblade Warlock and your Trample with your Striker Titan. So Titans, you can't trample everybody on one side of the map and the other. Dawnblade Warlocks, same thing. Or if you do, you have to try harder. I don't know. Up to you.
Smaller map, maybe?
Smaller map, go faster. Go faster, fly faster, run faster update.
Use your Icarus with vigor.
And because we're talking about all of these abilities and tunings, it wouldn't be Destiny if we didn't touch your exotics, your dear sweet exotics.
Oh my god, some of them getting so
this list of exotics all had custom tuning passes focused on their ability to return energy in PvP. Again, PvP. And it's nice now that we're at a point where we can touch each exotic independently as opposed to being like, boots are bad. Gloves are good. I remember the battle days when it's like, the Frosties are too spicy. Boots are crap now. Sorry. So it's nice we can do this. But speaking of our Frosties, so the Frosties, they're no longer stack in PvP with other regeneration buffs. They do scale up, but instead of scaling the buffs on top of the other buffs, like a compound interest, it scales from the regular, basically your base recharge rate without your other buff applied. So, instead of it stacking all the way up and being compound, it's just like a simple interest. If you know anything about finance or, I don't have another good analogy for that.
So your Frosties is rapid cooldown, which increases grenade, melee, and dodge regeneration while sprinting. Dodging increases your sprint speed.
But not as much anymore.
Yep.
Nope.
And then for Titans, your Heart of Inmost Light, your ability energy regen is reduced by 50%. And they've also reworked it so activating multiple abilities will now reliably result in multiple stacks. The stacking behavior previously was a bug, but it seemed like a good opportunity to make it a feature. So bug became feature for your Heart of Inmost Light.
So for that one, it's Overflowing Light. Using an ability, which is Grenade, Melee, or Barricade, empowers the other 2 abilities. Empowered means abilities have faster regen, melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points.
And onto the Warlocks, we have your Controverse Hold, which is the duration of your grenade recharge buff is fixed at 1.75% instead of being a random number between 1 and 4 seconds. Because again, everything is based on RNG.
No, say that again. What?
So when you use a Controverse Hold, your grenade recharge buff, you're going to get it's a nice fixed buff for 1.75 seconds. It'll buff your grenade regen, as opposed to before, it would buff your rate somewhere between 1 second and 4 seconds. Just randomly, it would choose a number on a random number list and say we're going to buff your grenade somewhere in this range.
Really?
Yeah.
Your controverse holds was resist incoming damage whilst charging your void grenade with chaos accelerant, feed the void or handheld supernova, and charge void grenades return a random amount of grenade energy on a hit.
Yeah. And they did say previously the average was a 1.71 seconds. So by sort of sticking at 1.75, it should feel more consistent across the board, even though it'll return a little less in PvP. In PvE, you still get the full benefit. Enjoy yourself. Your Doomfang Pauldron for the Titans, 50% less super energy when killing a player with the Void melee. That's it. Period. Full stop.
That's your Horns of Doom, which is void melees give super energy, while Sentinel Shield is active. Melee kills recharge your shield throw, which extends your super on hit. I'm guessing that it'll still extend your super on hit.
Did they mention anything about
The Shinobu's Vow that does 66% less grenade energy?
I mentioned that last night.
Healing?
Yeah, I already saw that. That hurt. That hurt a lot.
And what's the
But no, I was
Shinobu's Vow
talking about
doing?
the Warlock helmet,
Hang on,
which
I'll wait for him to stop
any
mumbling.
void damage increases all ability recharge rate.
No, they have not talked about that specifically in this set of notes.
So your Shinobu's Vow is your Hunter Gauntlet, which is Nutrix, improves skip grenades, and you gain an additional skip grenade charge.
Yep.
Grenades return energy when it damages an enemy.
66% less energy in PvP.
Yeah. That's an owie.
But speaking of Warlock hats, we do have the Crown of Tempest, which is reduce your grenade, melee, and super energy recharge rate by 3 seconds from 7 down to 4 in PvP.
Ooh. And that is Conduction Tines, which is your arc abilities increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and extend the duration of Storm Trance.
And finally, your last Warlock hat, the Stag, everyone's new favorite.
Really?
That's going to reduce your class ability refund on Shield Break by 50%.
And that's your dearly departed.
So
Your
they
Rift
didn't
provides
touch the
damage
Resurrect
reduction
Sin at
to
all?
ally guardian standing in it. Grants Rift energy when you are critically wounded, and on death creates a healing rift on your corpse.
And see, this you bring up a very valid point, Respawn. We don't know. Did they tell us that they touched it? They did not tell us. Did they touch it? Maybe.
As far as like regenning abilities, Resurrect Sin is like top tier, man. In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's all they've told us about. So, I mean, did they touch it? Probably, because they do say somewhere in this massive TWAB about, we're not going to give you the full list, and they will do a full patch note when the patch drops. But there is obviously a lot more than what they're telling us here in this little preview. So, did they? Quite possibly, or maybe not, because as part of the Void trio, I have to think anything Void related, they're like in February it's going to be a moot point because we're changing it all entirely anyway. So who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, hard to say. Hope you guys have enjoyed your armor mods. Have you?
You're going to be needing them a lot more. I can tell you that, man.
Ones anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So your all those nice fancy mods you've been using,
or not,
we're going to reduce your energy returns by 50% in PvP, depending on the number of copies you have slotted of melee kickstart, grenade kickstart, utility kickstart. Sorry, new stasis armor, perpetuation, bolstering detonation, focusing strike, bomber, outreach, dynamo, distribution, momentum transfer, and impact induction. Basically, you think you're getting more energy back, now you're getting half as much energy back. Enjoy your armor mods.
I've got a quick question for somebody that holds on to a lot of Armor 1.0 stuff. Do you think they've touched any of the Armor 1.0? Or do you...
Respawn, why are you surprised? You know who this
right.
is.
You're right. I'm sorry. Continue your question. That was an outburst I shouldn't have done. I'm sorry.
Do you think that they've been able to touch the perks that are on the 1.0 armor, or do you think that they've forgotten about those? Because that's going to be interesting for people running around in PvP, normal PvP anyway, not like Trials and Iron Banner. If they've got 1.0 armor sets that they're still rocking with different perks on, are they still going to have a greater effect? That's going to be interesting, because if they have managed to touch them, that would, persuade me maybe to dismantle some of those, because
I think
a couple of those sets work really well with abilities.
I think it depends if they touch like the mod overall or if it's just the new version of the mod. If they're little, their switches and knobs extend that far, but that's
It's a knob.
Yeah, well, you'll have to tell us and let us know. Have to stand and see if you recharge anything faster. Armor 1.0.
Well,
Crazy,
I'm sure my
crazy.
friend Mr. Cheese will.
Somebody will. Someone's got
Yeah.
to. Dang, this is long. Which it literally says in the TWAB, so therefore I agree. This is
I
long.
resisted it. I so resisted it.
And now we're here at they stuck that right above stasis crystals. We have Eric here to tell us all about stasis crystals, where they're going to slow instead of freeze in PvP. They're going to increase the slower freeze radius from 1.75 to 2.6 meters.
And that's for what? A grenade?
Stasis crystals.
Crystal.
All your stasis crystals. They're also reducing the crystal damage, the crystal detonate damage versus players by 55%. They're increasing the detonate damage versus PvE combatants by 60%. And they're increasing the crystal detonation radius by 2 meters from 6 to 8. So basically, crystals will now do about half as much damage in PvP and about 60, half as more damage in PvE. So 55% reduction in PvP, 60% increase PvE, and more radius.
Hold on, let's do some quick math. So somebody was telling me a Shatter Dive full damage does 280 in PvP. So you have that to 140. So even full damage Shatter Dive cannot kill a Guardian anymore.
Yep.
Oof.
And they say that somewhere down here. They're also touching the Hunter dodge because they want to reduce ability spam in Crucible. And the Hunter's Gambler dodge can bypass the melee and ability cooldown times, so it's getting hit the hardest as a result. So Hunters, listen up, dodge away. You can dodge away, but it's no longer to break my projectile tracking on you.
I never felt that it did to begin with. You know how many times I've been shot during a dodge, man?
Well, it's no longer going to break the tracking. We can track you.
Yeah.
We can Jotun you.
Mm-hmm. Your marksman dodge with a tier 10 mobility cooldown from 11 to 14 seconds, but your base cooldown does remain unchanged. So they're basically nerfing it at the top tier, and the base remains unchanged. The base remains unchanged, and I don't know if it 9 mobility.
What's the lowest now? Because right now,
marksman dodge is when you reload your weapons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the gambler's dodge is when you dodge to refill your melee back up again.
Right.
And the gambler's dodge at tier 10 mobility, your cooldown is going to go up 7 seconds from 11 to 18 seconds. And your base cooldown is also going up 9 seconds from 29 to 38 seconds. So you can gambler dodge, but emphasis on the gambler, my friend.
But Respawn, think about this. This is tier 10 mobility base. So once you start putting mods and things on it and actually building into this, which, you can still get some of those mods to help you, it may go down to about 15 seconds.
Yeah, but from 11
which isn't
seconds
too much.
to 17, dude. That's
18.
Isn't much.
18.
Come on.
Sorry, that's worse.
I'm sure you can deal with it.
You'll be too busy gunplaying. It'll be fine.
Goodness gracious, man.
And
it's only the gambler's dodge, huh? Or are they hitting both dodges with that cooldown?
No.
Marksman goes up. Marksman goes up 3 seconds at the top tier. Its base of 29 is unchanged for marksman. So gambler dodge is getting hit harder. Marksman's dodge is getting hit when you have more mobility.
That hurts. Golly. All right. Well, I see why they gave us Radiant Stance machines. That's going to be freaking.
Give you a thing because they're like, Hunters, you better go get this. You're going to need it.
Yeah, guys, go out and get your Radiant Stance machines. You're going to need them.
What doesn't hurt from standing way back here? You know what I'm fine from now?
What?
The Shatter Dive. It's much less lethal versus players due to these stasis crystal changes.
It's much less lethal. Yeah, exactly.
And much more lethal to combatants during stasis crystal changes, aka combatants PvE, 60% more damage, 55% less damage for PvE. And they increase the Shatter Dive damage versus frozen combatants by 100%. So they really want you to Shatter Dive all the combatants.
Outside of PvP, yeah.
Just not other people. And again, in Gambit, it's a toss-up. Who knows? Your Grim Harvest aspect, they've also increased the fragment slot from 2 to 3. So you can harvest things more grimly. I don't know if that helps you or not. But
yeah, that would give them more incentive to kind of slot more aspects in for the
Yeah, if you're in anything that gives
sorry,
you more slots
fragments
to
in.
use,
Yeah.
your top tree Arc Strider, our fancy new variable ability cooldown system has made this change possible. That your combination blow, they've reduced the cooldown duration to that by 84 seconds, from 96 to 15 seconds. So if you want a combination blow, you can combination blow all day, every day, on the street corners, in the evenings.
And your combination blows respawn, that's the punching, isn't it?
1-2 punch, yeah.
So you can
1-2 punch.
so you can
But
spam that one all day, every
I
day.
say 1-2 punch, but it's punching. Yeah, it's melee.
Works really well with the Liar's Handshake gauntlets.
It did, and also with the shotgun that has a 1-2 punch on it.
Nice. Yeah, so they made that much quicker to use over and over again. Your bottom tree Night Stalker, it has the low damage output but high utility. It's struggling a bit in PvP, so they're gonna help your Vanish and Smoke melee and reduce your base cooldown by 21 seconds from
Can
96
they
down to
make it so that we
75.
actually go invisible? I mean, Bungie, you think we're invisible, but people can still very much clearly see us as we're running around invisible.
Well, that's where you're going wrong. Don't run, walk.
Yeah,
They can still see you, man.
your visibility wears off, and honestly, they're reworking class in February, so maybe you'll be invisible then. But I mean, in the meantime, you can go invisible 21 seconds faster than you could before, every single time.
Nice. I do like that.
Another thing Respawn's going to like is the Titan changes. And again, as an effort to put more
Yeah,
emphasis
here
on
we
the
go.
gunplay in Crucible, we've decided to reduce the number of abilities that can one-shot full health Guardians.
I love this.
As such, the Titan's 3 shoulder charges are now no longer one-shot abilities in PvP. Just let that
Yeah,
one sit there.
without exotic assistance.
Marinate. We'll see if they're even with exotic assistance.
So
with the
it
emphasis
is
on
a very
gunplay,
welcome change.
you're not getting close enough to use anything to punch anyone. They are balancing this change out by making it quicker to activate, easier to hit with, travel farther, and again, PvE damage increases, which we've seen across the board so far. So all shoulder charges, no longer one-shot players. Period. Full stop. No longer one-shots. Not going to happen. They've reduced the sprint activation time by a quarter second from 1.5 to 1.25 seconds. So yay.
Nice.
They also increased the range by 1.3 meters from 5.5 to 6.8 meters. The targeting cone has been increased
Wait,
by
no.
10%.
Don't just breeze over that. What? Say that again?
They increased the range by 1.3 meters. I'm not breezing over. I'm just reading the full thing.
For your shoulder charge. So
Yeah.
you can shoulder charge further. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Or is that the tracking? Good.
By 1.3 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
They basically want it to be movement, or again, in PvE, do more damage with it. Your targeting cone width has increased by about 10%. Go see Fallout for what that means. Increased damage versus PvE combatants by 25%.
What that means is your targeting cone. You have a cone. It's really simple. You have a cone. If you're within that cone, it's easier to track you. If you're outside that cone, you don't get any tracking. So by increasing the cone size, they basically increase the area in which the punch will auto track. So it sounds like they reversed your tracking nerf that they put on a while back.
Yeah, or at least made it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I totally disagree with this?
With what?
You can.
With this nerf to the shoulder charge.
Yeah, well, I disagree with everything they've ever done to hunters. Now you know what I feel.
I know you do. But you had 2 hours worth of moaning. I just want to say my piece in about 5 minutes.
Go ahead. No, I was waiting for you to have a rant because this is.
You
don't know how this makes me feel.
I'm not having
that
a
a
rant.
Titan finally knows what it feels like to be a hunter. By all means, so rant. Go ahead. Rant.
I'm not having a rant.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I disagree with this. I understand where they're coming from, that maybe they don't want the ability spamming, but I would have much rather have taken a complete knockout to I can shoulder charge one person and I have to wait an X amount of time before I can get another shoulder charge in, even with an exotic. But I think I said this in the chat when we were having a discussion in the chat about this, that this makes the Insurmountable Skullfall a complete useless exotic.
Yeah, it does!
Nobody is going to want to... You're not going to want to rock it in PvE content, what's the point? Because when you go charging into people, it's I mean, it's very situational, and it's going to be useless in PvP now.
Yeah.
What is the point of having that exotic?
Exactly. See, Hazel,
You're
this is
forcing
why there's
me
no rant from
to
me.
wear
I'm
boots
so happy.
that I
You
don't
have no
want
idea.
to wear. I mean, they haven't detailed it here, but they're saying that at some point that they were going to nerf the Dune Marchers, but the Peregrine Greaves, which are the ones where you have to jump slightly before you can get the power up, will still be able to one-shot. But again, why is that exotic still allowed to happen?
Because, I mean, it used to one-shot freaking bosses. The fact that it can one-shot a Guardian shouldn't be that much of a stretch.
Yeah.
Now you have a Shatter Dive in the form of a flying knee. There you go. That's your one.
Yeah.
I'm honestly happy that they've removed it because it removes the temptation for trying to use it and getting gunned down while trying to use it in PvP entirely.
But
that's a good way to look at it. How mature of you?
I mean, that's how I felt about shoulder charge in PvP for the last, since the auto rifle meta and before. It's entirely extremely situational whether you can get close enough to somebody to actually get a kill. In trials, you're getting gunned down by either hand cannons or shotguns beforehand. In sixes, you're not getting close enough to anybody unless they're hard scoping with a sniper rifle. It's effective, yes, but the risk reward is super high, and it's absolutely random whether you hit with it. So I'm happy they've removed it in PvP from the temptation. I'm happy I can still go wild in PvE with it because that's where I use it most of the time anyway. And say I can run into a band of enemies and set them on fire or knock them around or just do damage. And with my Syntheseps, that's all I really want to do with the shoulder charge anyway. It's not good in PvP. It's not, anyway.
But at the end of the day, the shoulder charge isn't going to be, it's not going to be viable for anybody now. Nobody's going to be running and sprinting and trying to activate this to get a hit on somebody when they're not even going to have a chance of killing them. It's going to be a useless perk on whichever subclass it is.
All of them.
They've just made it absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Why would you use that? To stand and punch? Yeah, I could understand. But when you have a little slap fight with somebody, but you actually have to charge this one up. They've made that useless. There's no incentive to use that perk on those supers or on those subclasses.
What perk?
On those trees. Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason to run those trees. Really, like on Striker, you're running your top tree for double grenade. You're not running for the shoulder charge.
Yeah,
and Void and Solar, you're running your bottom tree Solar for the sunspots, or running bottom tree Void for the double hammer or double shield throw. The increased shield throws in your super. But I can't remember what the other perks are. But I don't use those anyway. So I mean, I use them for the sunspots, or if I want to throw more shields, not for the shoulder charge part of it. And now there's even less of a reason if there even was one before.
I mean, I'll tell you now, it's going to go to Code of the Devastator. You're going to see what Respawn said a couple of weeks back with Titans throwing the hammers, hitting people, getting the burning effect on it, and getting those stacks. And maybe pairing it up with the gauntlets that you can get, which are the whatchamacallits, the metal
path
ones.
Of the burning steps also increase solar damage.
No, not the path. No,
I'm
path
asking.
Of the burning steps.
I'm asking.
I'm saying if you pair it with the Ashen Wake, so if you get a melee kill and then you start stacking those, whatever it was, the
the flame. What's that perk called? The
Roaring Flames.
Roaring Flames. Thank you. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when you get your solo ability kills, it increases those abilities damage up to 3 times. Yeah. So you'll get people rocking Ashen Wake, you'll get people throwing out hammers, and they will be doing that over and over again. And then this will be called for a nerf. It's just making people...
Yeah.
That's not getting a nerf, and I don't understand, because that melee you can pick up over and over again.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, because they're saying we don't want things to be spammed, yet people will find a way, and it's like Jurassic Park. They will find a way. Yeah. They will find a way to get the stacks of Roaring Flame. They will go to town with Ashen Wakes and throwing hammers and just constantly proccing that, and the Titans will be ability spamming.
What's Hellfire? Our chat's talking about how that. It sounds like that's gonna.
That's the one where once you have your once you have your solar super all the way up, it recharges your abilities faster.
Oh, yeah.
Improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities. Greatly improves the recharge rate when your super is charged.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you should know that. You have a podcast, Hazel. What's wrong with you, bro?
Nobody
But
plays a solar
he's a
Titan.
warlock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
Oh, okay. Fair
I
enough.
mean, and let's be honest. I'm a void warlock. I'm a void Titan and a electro warlock because arc buddies are fun. But yeah, it's
Everybody's just deadly.
I mean, it's
Look.
basically like it's pushing the meta around without saying, "Hey, we want to push the meta around."
They corrected themselves, Hazel. Don't worry.
I mean, we basically want to shove these around and go. We want to change up. People have been stomping with flying Dawnblade warlocks and stomping arc titans for far too long. Now we're going to make them totally different. So now it'll be something else that people are going to start complaining about tomorrow. So the cycle of life goes on.
I mean, look, jokes aside, right? Real talk here. That's what hunters always deal with because as soon as hunters, get something nerfed, we have to find something else that's viable.
I said that in the chat. I said,
Yeah.
I don't agree with what they've done to Shatter Dive. I think they should have done what they should have done to the Titan's shoulder charge. It should be a risk reward, give and take. So if you do pull it off and you do get that kill, you're guaranteed that you're not going to get another kill by using that ability without something being taken away or having to, you can't get it for like a good minute
I
after.
100% agree. And Micah, the Titan main that I'm always running with, I gave him that exact same argument. I was like, well, ours is the risk reward too. He goes, no, all you got to do is throw it in the air and you jump down. I was like, yeah, but after that animation, we're there for a while if we don't get you.
Yeah, you're still a sitting duck and you're still a hunter with no resilience. So
yeah,
you're just
there's a risk.
You're there waiting to get picked off. Yeah, I'm really. This all goes in the. I'm really curious to see what the full picture is once we have all of these things in the game.
Yeah,
and Bungie said we want you to build craft. We want you to build craft. What can I do? How can I build crafting into these things? How can I make this?
You can't get
what I want it to be.
away. How's that also going to affect Wellspring? Because I just got a weapon with Wellspring. That's a thing too, man. Are they gonna nerf that? Is that anywhere in the comments?
What's Wellspring do?
Kills with this weapon generate ability energy. The energy is divided between all your uncharged abilities, right? And it's a set amount of energy that gets divided evenly. And if it's between all three, then each one gets a third. If it's between two, each one gets half. And if it's between one, that one gets all of it.
Take a hit at some point. They just haven't detailed it here.
But that's what I asked you. If it was in there, it's
not in here. But that's what I'm saying. We always know 3/4 of it. We don't know the other 15% until they actually drop the patch notes, and then they go, well, this has also been touched. But what I'm saying is with the Titans, with their throwing hammer, they can't nerf that unless that hammer completely disappears from when you throw it out. If a Titan can go and pick that hammer up, they can ability spam that.
Right.
They can, but what they can do is make Roaring Flames not affected or whatever. Because it by itself can't get a one shot. You have to have a stack of Roaring Flames.
Yeah, but say I've kind of you've got some damage on you, and that Titan gets that hammer kill.
Then he's got.
Then they've got one
absolutely.
stack. Absolutely. Then they're away with what they're actually doing. They could damage another person, throw the hammer, or even throw out the grenade, and it snowballs. It does. It's going to snowball kind of thing. Yeah. But there's nothing they can do about that because I think with the Ashen Wake, which is the gauntlets, that when you get a kill with the fusion grenade, it gives you the fusion grenade energy back. Or maybe unless they nerf that it doesn't give you. It says it gives you grenade energy, but I think it gives you, depending on what stack you are, how much it gives you back. But even then, if you're still constantly just throwing out hammers, getting damage on somebody throwing out a hammer, you could, once you get to that 3 stack, is that 3 stack going to be the only thing that can one shot a Guardian?
Yeah, it's like everything else. It's going to be how do all these recharge rates pan out in real game, and how much do these damages pan out in game with all the changes they're making to the weapons, and the abilities, and the this and the that. Like it's all, like we keep saying, it's all part of a puzzle that we get pieces and parts to, and we try to go, well, how do we think this is going to work? We don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows until it all comes to fruition. You either can.
And I'm thinking they're really going to make us focus on like he just said, we are gonna have to build craft. Like, hey, do I want a faster melee so I can do this more often? Do I want a faster grenade so I can do this more often? You got mods, you got weapon perks that feed into how fast you get melees or grenades back. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the game that affects recharge times on weapons, on armor, on abilities. So yeah, dude. Oh my god, I just hit me. There's like stuff you can do to affect recharge times of all different kinds. So that's probably what they're talking about. Hey, you don't want a 3-minute grenade? Well,
Yeah.
you better spec your grenade into every piece of armor. You better get freaking
build into it.
that perk that gives you back grenade energy on guns. I mean, yeah, you better spec into all that if you don't want a 3-minute grenade.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and by the way, don't work too hard on this, because come February, don't forget, we're completely redoing all of your Void subclasses. We're bringing those all into the Void 3.0, just like how Stasis has the different, aspects, fragments. I assume it'll be the same kind of thing with aspects and fragments and tiers, like Stasis has with your Void stuff. They're reworking all of that, and they're redoing the other light subclasses after that. Stasis or Void is the first; the other two are coming with it. So we're all going to live in a world where it's not just, oh, do you want top, middle, or bottom tree? It's it'll be more, I assume, more like Stasis is today, where I want this piece and that part, or I want this ability to do this or this ability to do that. You actually have to make choices and trade-offs, not just I want to use bottom tree because of this, or I want to use top tree because of that. It's actually making a build, not just going eeny, meeny, miny, and that's it. Sorry, there's no mo.
Just build crafting, like he was saying.
I know we're kind of off the twab at the moment.
Not really. No, this is directly related to it. I disagree.
I know it's related to it, but we're kind of. But what I'm thinking is, I don't understand why they've put a lot of effort and time. This must have taken them some time to change all of these things, for them to then in 3 months' time completely change that whole subclass.
It's got to feed into it. It's got to feed into it.
Well, no, because it's complete rework of the Void subclass.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it have better served them to have not done all of this fiddling now, just for it to only be relevant for 3 months?
Well, I mean, to be fair, they didn't do a ton of fiddling with the Void stuff.
You're acting like they did this overnight. These programmings take months, dude. This has probably been in the works for months, homeboy.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the stuff they changed,
they put time into it. That's what I'm saying is that I don't understand the time. Why didn't they just do this all at the time that the Witch Queen was dropping?
Plans could have changed. Like the Disney movie. There's an example of a Disney movie that between the time of its inception to the time it was on film changed storylines like 4 times. People had different ideas. Programmers started programming things, and then they're like, okay, well, yeah, we need to do this, but we've done all this work. Okay, we'll finish that, and then after that, we'll do this kind of thing. That's the only thing I can think of is just timeline stuff.
Well, I mean, again, it's like we called out earlier. A lot of the Void stuff is like, we put the Void here, the Void's over here. Like looking at these notes, there's not a lot of Void changes. We're talking about, shoulder charging. We're talking about how they touch like all the Warlocks arc abilities. Like there's not a whole lot in the Void subclasses that they tweaked. And like there's some, but like looking at the other subclasses, a lot more stuff got adjusted a lot harder than Voided, probably for partially and largely that reason. It's all going to be changed. But again, I mean, some of it is they say this is all foundational. Them laying the groundwork with these new, knobs and buttons and abilities to do things. Part of it's got to be just testing, making sure it works. When we make these Void changes, do they actually work? And what kind of this is the basis of what they want to have going forward. So this is feeding into probably parts of the system 3.0. And also shoulder charges. So yeah, shoulder charges. So your seismic strike, the mid tree, your arc shoulder charge, they're reducing your area of effect damage by 50 from 90 down to 40. They're increasing the base cooldown by 8 seconds from 82 seconds to 90 seconds. And you now blind enemies in the area on hit.
For which one?
The mid tree, your arc thunder crash melee, your seismic strike. So you can now blind things as well as do less damage and not kill them.
Yeah,
that's fun. I mean, you say that, but if you blind them, one more of your ridiculous punches will finish them off, or a shotgun blast. But I mean, at least it's not a one shot.
I mean,
Question mark?
the same thing if you slow or freeze somebody too with your, all of your
Yeah.
hunter stasis
Yeah,
abilities.
I'm not
So I mean,
complaining.
same
I'm just
thing.
like, just damn it.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
yeah.
blind.
It
I
leaves you.
survived, but I can't see. Damn, I'm dead. What happened?
Yeah, it leaves you as a sitting duck. Your shield bash, your bottom tree, void shoulder charge. They reduce the area of effect damage by 50, 90 down to 40, exactly the same as arc. They increase your base cooldown by 8 seconds, 82 to, and it already disorients enemies on hit. So basically, they made your mid tree arc blind people, and your void bottom tree already disoriented people on hit. And then your hammer strike, your solar shoulder charge, they've, you guessed it, reduced the direct impact area, because there is no area of effect, by 50 from 170 down to 120, and increase the base damage cooldown by 8 seconds from 82 to 90 seconds.
Question. Why did that one
Answer.
always hit harder than the rest? Why was that 170 as opposed to 90?
Because it just did direct impact.
Yeah,
It didn't have an AoE.
yeah,
It didn't have
yeah,
a
there was no
burn. It was
AoE.
just-
Yep,
Gotcha.
it's I literally whack you in the face with this hammer versus I land on the ground or I punch near you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and now it does even less. Yeah, 120
That
damage
is
down
still
from.
a huge chunk. And that right there, that feeds into what Nitedemon was saying about how we're going to see a lot more solar titans. If there's solar melee can still do that much damage, it's going to be way easier to clean up that kill than these other ones. Well, except for the blind one. Maybe the blind one will be easy to clean up.
No, but that's not even the melee I'm talking about. That's
I
just
know
the
you were
shoulder
talking about
charge.
the throwing hammer. I know.
Yeah, which is the middle tree.
Yeah, but just overall, solar titans looks like they're going to be more of a thing in this season.
I mean, I've been rocking solar for quite some months, so it's no change for me really.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Barricade. What's going
I
on
haven't
with
even
that?
been shoulder charging. I mean, I did a little bit, admittedly in Iron Banner the other week. I had a little bit of fun, but I am particularly fond of solar, so they're just going to be messing with my solar.
Yeah, they're trying to make the barricade usage different by making your towering barricade take 3 more seconds to charge and your rally barricade 3 less seconds to charge. Still not interesting changes until they make the other barricade changes coming with Witch Queen. So yeah,
What does the rally barricade do in PvP? It
disappointing.
speeds up your reload time, right? That's all it does.
Disappoints people now.
No, I get that, but like it speeds up your reload time. Is that the secondary effect?
No, it gives you. You can give. I think it's damage protection, doesn't it? And it also increases your damage when you're shooting over it.
Oh, is that what it does?
I think that's what they changed it to recently.
See, Micah, I told you get a damage buff if you're watching this. You stupid face. Continue.
Wasn't that right, Peroty?
That's what I was trying to remember, and I don't have the thing in front of me to go read it.
They've tried to get people to use it more and more, but I don't.
I was trying to remember if that was a change now or the change coming in Witch Queen, because I know they're doing some stuff to it in Witch Queen, making it you take more damage when you go through it and things like that. But I've lost
Why
track.
wouldn't that work for you guys? Because that gives you half damage everywhere you go, and basically, I mean, it's basically
damage.
a better version of the Warlock Well, that empowering well, right? Because it empowers you and you have cover. No,
barely. It's you put up a little half wall. You take a little bit of damage from the half wall. It's not like getting that much benefit from it. You're still dying. I don't know. I haven't run the rally barricade.
I'm saying you hide behind it so you have half cover, right? So and you can kind of head glitch over the top of it, and now you have half cover and extra damage, right?
I guess I haven't used it at all since
Golden God says no. Why no?
Yeah, I haven't used it since they took it away its ability to reload your weapons automatically. So don't know. Haven't touched it since.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're trying to make it useful or interesting, but it's neither of those things. Onto your behemoth, your drunken toddler with knives now, your diamond lance, which I just unlocked the other day. So now I can increase my fragment slot from 1 to 3. So it gives you a reason to maybe use your diamond lance. And now it also spawns your diamond lance upon killing a PvE combatant with a stasis weapon, killing 3 players with stasis weapons in a single life.
Not nice.
Killing an enemy with a stasis ability. Yeah, getting 3 kills with a stasis weapon in PvP in a single life.
Oh, it says it's weapon. Oh,
yeah, killing an enemy with a stasis ability, or shattering an enemy. All those things will give you the diamond lance now.
That's cool.
In addition to, you've got 2 extra fragment slots to play with. Your Shiver Strike, they've increased the Shiver Strike damage while in Glacial Quake by 50%.
Oof.
So again, run the other way. Hunters, you can outrun Titans, so just outrun them. Whisper of Change, increase your damage resistance versus PvE combatants by 15% from 25 up to 40%. So Whisper of Change makes you beefier. You can do more damage when you hit things and make more diamond lances, and then you can have diamond lances and throw them at people. Sure, why not? Bottom Tree Striker. Your knockout, your melee lunge range damage bonus now deactivate after a melee hit. So you get one hit, and that's it. Your Trample, the super energy gain from your Fist of Havoc light attack now decays to a minimum amount over 3 PvP kills, down from 7 PvP kills.
Again, I haven't been using
The
it.
first part of that is what I'm missing out. What gives you energy back on kills, which is now apparently going to be better?
Worse. Bottom Tree Striker Titan. Bottom Tree Striker. The Trample ability.
Okay, so
You get less. You get less energy. Today, you get super energy back from your first 7 kills in PvP using Bottom Tree Striker.
Okay.
That's down to 3 kills after this change.
Gotcha.
Your frontal assault melee is going to increase the base cooldown by 24 seconds from 82 seconds up to 106 seconds. And your Fist of Havoc, the heavy slam radius, is reduced from 8 meters to 6 meters, bottom tree only. So your Fist of Havoc on top tree will still have 8 meters of radius. Your bottom tree, 6 meters of radius after this change goes live. So yeah, tweaking all the things. Warlocks. Warlocks can finally slap fight with everybody else. Warlocks, you've been losing slap fights for way too long. Until now, Warlocks haven't been able to melee back-to-back as quickly as Titans or Hunters. But no more. With the 30th anniversary, Warlocks will be able to melee just as quickly as Titans and Hunters. We're also removing the 1 meter range extension the Warlocks received to compensate. So Warlocks, what this means, your uncharged melees are now going to have the same range and speed as Titans and Hunters, which means we're reducing the range from 5.5 meters down to 4.5 meters, the same as everybody else. And they are also removing the suppression time after melee, so you can back-to-back melee at the same speed as Hunters and Titans. So Warlocks, enjoy your slap fights. Middle Tree Voidwalker. Your handheld Supernova will also no longer one-shot in PvP, but it travels farther and pushes enemies back, so there's that. They've reduced the damage versus players. It now deals 150 damage maximum. So your handheld Supernova maxes out at 150 damage. They've also increased the damage versus champions and bosses by 30%, and they've increased the projectile range by 2 meters from 12 up to 14, and it pushes targets away from the Warlock on detonation. And your Nova Warp increases damage versus champions and bosses by 30%. So that's a thing. Shadebinder, it's been buffed, it's been nerfed, the Warlocks really feel like they get the massive buffs and massive nerfs that just push their stuff all over the place. Right now, Bungie feels like
it's because they do. They either overbuff or over nerf all the damn time. They're like, "Oh, that was too much. Go back."
That's coming from the Hunter, is it?
Huh? No. I've admitted a lot, many times. Warlocks are either really OP or really under nerfed. I'm not ashamed to say that.
Over nerfed, not under nerfed.
Over nerfed, yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on the moment. Well, at the moment, they feel like Shadebinder is in a good place. So the only changes they're making is the Winter Wrath Super. They're reducing the Shatter Pulse damage versus enemy supers, and you must now generally freeze and shatter all supers twice to eliminate. So basically, if you're in PvP with your Winter's Wrath, you got to use it twice to kill people in supers. Your Penumbral Blast, they've increased the proximity detonation radius versus PvE combatants by 100%. So Penumbral Blast, more blasty. And your Bleak Watcher turret, while it's equipped, all your stasis grenades charge at the same rate as your Glacier grenade rate. So it's removing the decision of which stasis grenade do I want to use, because they charge differently. When you're using Bleak Watcher, they all charge the same thing as your Glacier grenade rate, whatever that is.
Okay.
I'm really curious to see how all of this shakes out.
Same. Honestly, same. I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't be. It's a mistake to be excited about it, but I can't help it.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going back to the world of vanilla D2 and it was all gunplay and nothing else. But
I mean, it would be a refreshing change, though, right? People are, because some of the YouTubers have already been like, Yeah, it's gonna go back to vanilla D2, like you just said, before the Go Fast update. They needed to Go Fast update for this and then the other. I'm like, even if that's true, it might be. But even if that's true, it's not like we couldn't get a breath of fresh air like that. You know what I'm saying? We've been ability focused for however many years now. Let's take a step back and do something we used to do before. I don't see that as a bad thing.
Yeah, it just depends if they're, I appreciate them, being quick to say, we're going to look at this, we're going to see how it pans out. I just hope they don't do their whole, you had abilities, we've taken them all away, and now it's just a gunplay game and nothing else. And then the next update, we go back into the same cycle. But yeah, it's Bungie. They like to bounce back and forth between way too much and way too little.
Right.
Take a drink, have a nap, get a snack, go to the
Take
bathroom.
some coffee. Dude, what time is it? Oh my god, it's 8:45.
It's time for the player support report, which there's so much to report here. On December 8th, one day after all this stuff we've talked about goes live, hope you weren't enjoying Destiny 2 and all of its expansions on Xbox Game Pass for Xbox or the cloud version because they're going away.
Oh no!
Now, confusingly, the Xbox Game Pass for PC will continue to have access to Destiny and all of its expansions. So if you're playing through Game Pass on PC, you're good for now, but read the writing on the wall, kids, it's going away.
What?
But if you're playing
what sense does that make?
If you're playing through the cloud or on Xbox, you better buy it quick because you lose everything.
Speaking of which, for my last the run I got the Vex, one of the guys we were playing with was playing on Stadia on a Mac. There is another person out there that plays on Stadia. You have a buddy.
There's two or three. I mean, there's got to be two or three at least. But this means, that's Destiny 2, Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and Beyond Light. So if you're playing it on Xbox that way, right now you lose access to your campaign missions, your expansion-specific activities, raids, dungeons, hunts, exo challenges, nightfall strikes, and access to trials, the entire Stasis subclass, which is Beyond Light specific, all of your middle tree supers for each subclass, because that was part of Forsaken, I believe,
right?
And then 10% off perk for silver purchases and other game add-ons. So, buy them now, or better yet, wait to buy them, because Bungie does say Witch Queen will not be on Game Pass for Xbox or PC. So don't think you're going to get back on the Witch Queen on Game Pass. But they do say the Xbox content will go on sale soon. So I don't know if it's a holiday sale or just it's off Game Pass, we need some money sale. But it's going off Game Pass. But keep an eye on it. It's all going to go on sale. So pick it up then. What you will not lose access to is any items you've earned, any exotics you've earned, or any previously purchased season pass content.
Well, that's good.
So anything you've gotten in the game or bought in the game with real dollars, you will not lose. So if you worked hard for that perfect roll of the Dead Man's Tale, you get to keep it, even though you can't play the game anymore because you lose access to the game. But when you buy access to the game again, your weapons and exotics and all your gear will still be there. So at least you're not losing anything other than just, hey, you have to pay for the game now. You're not losing progress in the game. But but that's good to know that don't think you're going to be playing any of this on Game Pass on Xbox or in the cloud because no, you're not.
Can I add something to that, guys? Just to let you know, if you are on Xbox and you do have Game Pass, the Destiny 2 Bungie 30th Anniversary Pack is 10% off at the moment. I think it's 10% off. You get, it's a reduction in price anyway, from $21.99, this is pounds anyway, down to £19.79. So there is a bit of a saving there with Game Pass. So you can get that for the next, I think, 10 days until that comes off of their sale.
Husband, go ask your wives, kids, go ask your parents, everyone else. Whatever.
As for Christmas when they put it all on sale anyway, because it's
right.
They're good. It seems like they put them on sale periodically anyway, but it's again Christmas is coming, and they literally say, "Hey, wait to buy it until it goes on sale if you're losing access to it because it's coming." So do that.
And the fluff buy.
Yeah, and again, Witch Queen is not coming to Game Pass, so don't look for it there on any console, Stadia, PC, Xbox, anything. Xbox Game Pass for PlayStation, not there either, just in case you were curious. And the only other issues, Xbox block players. There's issues with they're seeing reports on a lot of blocked players on roster screens when they haven't actually been blocked. So there's a whole bunch of steps I'm not going to read for you. Go to the TWAB. There's many steps you can go to, unblock the block players that you're seeing.
Screenshot it. Go forth.
But if you're still having issues, they do have a specific post they'd like you to post in with screenshots or YouTube videos or whatever you can provide to say, hey, here's what I'm seeing, to help them figure out what's why this is happening and how they can address it. And we have a big long list of known issues, so sit back and relax, because here they come. Sometimes the revive timer can reset during a Grandmaster Nightfall when players complete an objective or enter a new area of the strike. That's it. That's our entire known issues for the week. And I've talked way too much, so you know where to find the known issues if you have them. And
agreed.
And that was way too much parody, and I'm sorry for everybody who had to listen to all that.
No, you did a great job there, taking the lead. Do appreciate it.
We have a little bit of feedback from Grimzeal. Good afternoon. I am currently listening to the newest episode, and I am volunteering as a potential Rat Pack helper. I may have time this week to help Respawn with the Catalyst. If so, I will message him on Steam. We are already friends there. My name is Alistar's Mike. Also, the soundtrack at the end of the episode is wonderful. Listening to Dado's video on upcoming changes, I'm sure Respawn will be ecstatic upon hearing the changes to shoulder charge. I am. To be honest, I am not so sure how I feel about it. Shotguns feel like more of a blight on my PvP fun, but what do I know? Lol. Hey, Nitedemon, I'm gonna need you to edit that last part. Just when I said shoulder charge, just kind of cut me off there and move forward. All right.
Why?
I mean, shoulder charges are very important. No, still are. Damn it. Anyway, moving on. We have DMG.
So Respawn, you have some Respawn's report roundup, do you?
That's what I was just reading when you both interrupted me.
Well, I need to do an intro so that I can then play the music.
Fair enough. Continue. And there it is. All right. December 7th can't come soon enough. There are still many surprises and experiences left to be discovered, whether they be in patch notes or found when playing the content when it goes live. Much love. Take a drink. Kevin Yanes.
Wait till he gets his Yanes on us?
We tuned it to Arcflux. We tuned it to be difficult to land at longer ranges. In general, we believe one-shot kill abilities need to be earned through mastery or build crafting. We will be monitoring its performance, though, just in case. Fair enough.
So get good scrubs.
A little bit.
Earn those kills.
But I mean, you're going to throw that thing as fast as a bullet, so whatever. Shoulder charges. Don't be too bummed. There is still an exotic that will help you secure those one bonk kills in the Crucible. Comes at the cost of your exotic slot, but hopefully it will have increased value come December 7th. And then it goes into the Peregrine Greaves again. Any word on the Dune Marchers? Question mark. That's from Dieth. Whatever. DMG says we'll cover those in future twat. So we knew that.
So
already.
yes.
Is Dune Marchers every class?
Yes.
Powers up every melee on every class?
Doesn't power up the melee. It gives you the lightning bolt, like the chain lightning when you hit melee somebody after you're running for a bit.
The Peregrine Greaves does that?
No, the Dune Marchers does that. The thing you were just
I'm talking about the Peregrine Greaves, dude.
Peregrine Greaves, you have to jump in the air.
Or Dune Marchers.
But I know how they work, but I'm asking, is it for every melee or is
Yes.
it? Oh,
Every shoulder charging melee.
all right. Well, I mean, it does cost an exotic slot, so whatevs.
Never used it.
Regular ass Dredgen Phil again. That is his name. Don't bleep me. What's the justification for Silence and Squall being one of the fastest recharging supers in PvP? Here we go. Seems like it was one of the biggest problems in the current sandbox, and this won't help. Might make it worse, actually. While I don't have the specific reasoning from the team on hand, know that we will be watching gameplay and data as these changes roll out. The team will be having more ability to tune these timers than before, so the current list that you see isn't set in stone forever. I still think it's because you can just outrun the damn thing, honestly.
Because Bungie loves the hunters the most, and they hate the Titans. So unfair.
Tell you what, if they keep buffing us and nerfing you over the next 6 years, then you can say that.
I just have
And
said it,
Freak,
but I don't care.
love most of these. Separate balancing and gunplay focus is much needed. Huge props to the team. Warlocks, no Rift cooldown, nerf, or Heat Rises nerf? That's actually a good question, because those damn arc buddies are so deadly. And dodge, much needed, but Dragon Shadow could use a rework with these changes. That's another one. Dragon Shadow gives you second dodge.
Yeah. Which again, they might be changed. This is not an exhaustive list of everything they've changed. This is just what they're telling us about. So they could be coming.
Flux Nade goes against the. I mean, look, everybody's hyper focused on the Flux Nade, right? They didn't say the Flux Nade was the only thing that was going to be one shotting. They just listed that as an example. So,
right,
don't get too hung up on that. There's more than likely, because you Titans have a sticky nade. Your sticky nade's probably going to do the same thing. Probably going to be nerfed and buffed in the same way. They just didn't mention it.
Yeah, I mean, they said up top, the grenades and things that do more damage, they're going to take longer. So yeah, you may have one, but it could take you 3 minutes to get it back again.
Yeah,
that was the whole theme of
DMG.
this.
We will need to check with the team on Rift cooldowns and Dragon Shadow. Flux Nade takes precise aiming and has a long cooldown. Used it a bit in playtest, had a ton of fun. Couldn't spam them often enough to feel that it was a problem. All right. Cool, I guess. Destiny news. New changes and updates coming to Destiny 2 Gambit mode in 2022. Changes coming to Gambit.
The only thing with, you go into that little node and there's one real option. It's lonely. It needs friends.
A little bit, yeah. What do we got here? We got wow, that's small even for me. Destiny 2 nominated for Best Community Support. So
Is that it?
Destiny 2 I had a stroke. Stand by. Destiny 2 nominated. No, it freaking says that. Hold on.
It does. It's all D just doing.
My hue.
D from Beyond the Grave.
Hold on.
The work grave. He's not dead.
No, it's not changing. It still says that. Why does it say that? Why?
Because Respawn clearly you decided that to give them this nomination, since really this is all you're doing. We're on to you.
Okay. Always an honor. It's best to keep in mind that this isn't specifically a community team effort. The entire studio is dedicated to upkeep and transparency as we continue to make Destiny 2 the best it can. Also, in that pause, if you could have a sound effect where, clear,
I saw that on Twitter this week, and I knew you were going to minor conniption fit.
I mean, not a conniption fit, just I was shocked. Just sorry, what? Okay, sure. Somebody paid somebody off. Whatever. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Questions and feedback. Respawn's report roundup.
No. I mean, if you are interested in having a look at I think it was a post on the gamepost.com about Bungie giving an update to Gambit, I will link that in the show notes for you to have a read.
Yeah.
Because Respawn's not going to read it to you.
No. Duh.
And if you are curious, there was an article on the blog this week about just the storyline of the Witch Queen and Savathun and how you write a story and show something for Savathun before you have a character model to show. So if you're sort of interested in the storytelling or even just a little bit of game design, there's a PlayStation blog article we can link in the show notes as well. Nothing terribly interesting from that. And I did give a video for Respawn of how to get your top 10 materials farm from.
I saw that. I knew you were going to bring that up.
Have you been farming? Pontus is trying to help you out, buddy. He even gave you top 10 material farms.
No. The only time I've been on Destiny this week is to do the Vex runs and then play a little bit after the Vex. I was busy this week, but I am off all weekend, and I am off all this next week. So I need people that are willing to run Nightfalls with me, so I can do things, okay, and stuff, and yeah. Yeah, because I need a minimum of 5 golf balls.
Do your everyone who runs things with Respawn, ask him how many bounties he has. Take him to the tower
I've been doing the
and make
bounty
him
thing.
go to the bounty. Well, that's why you should have materials then.
I do bounties. Oh, I have
Well, then you're
freaking
good.
cores. I have a little bit of cores now. I have like 50 something cores, but that's
There you
it.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
Gotta start somewhere.
Well, I have 3 videos for our tips, tricks, and guides, mainly due to the fact that either the YouTubers that normally cover Destiny are now playing Halo Infinite, or they've read
Other
the
things.
TWAB for a good hour, like Peroty said, and you don't want
Yep.
to you don't want to hear them and us. You just want to hear us, basically. But I did find 3 interesting videos this week. Fallout Plays did 13 weapons that you need for the Witch Queen. You need these weapons, according to Fallout, anyway.
Oh, I've seen that video. Yeah, get these before they're gone. Yeah.
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 And Above went over the new meta with the Adrenaline Junkie weapons. So he goes through the weapons that Adrenaline Junkie does roll on, and there's quite a few, quite interesting, but why would you need it on a sniper? Exactly. So if you want to check out those, check those ones out.
Well,
And
a sniper, like what you told me, it would just behave like Rampage on a sniper, right? Every kill would give you more
yeah,
damage
but
to the net.
it's more of an up close thing. You want to throw the
No,
grenade, get the
I
kill.
get that, but what I'm saying is you're also going to get stacks of damage with every stack of Adrenaline Junkie, like not like Rampage, like the melee one.
All right, we'll just leave you hanging.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Gosh.
Swashbuckler, yeah. So it's gonna behave just like Swashbuckler. So every time you get a kill with a sniper, you're gonna
Yeah.
get more damage for the next thing that you kill. I mean, granted, snipers are probably gonna be one shots anyway.
Look,
Get that?
Above in his video doesn't recommend getting the snipers. He does recommend getting hand cannons, especially ones that roll with Adrenaline Junkie and what's the other one that you can get on some weapons? I can't remember the name of it now. The other
There's all
grenade
sorts
one.
of things.
No, the grenade one that you can get.
Grenade one that you can get.
Isn't that swashbuckler? No.
No.
I know what you mean, and I'm drawing a blank on it too. Because we are very good at this.
You're talking about the one where if you get a kill, it gives you grenade energy back straight up.
That's the one. That's
what I mentioned earlier in the show, dude.
And it's called
Demolitionist.
Thank you.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Neither of us could remember it.
Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie can roll on a few of the weapons, so it's a good pairing to get. And I believe the Prophecy
Hazelnut said Demolitionist
dungeon.
in the chat like 5 minutes ago, and none of us saw it.
I'm not in the
Sorry.
chat.
Because only one of us is.
I am.
looking at
I
this
ignored
chat.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't see it.
Yeah,
So
fair
yeah,
enough.
to the I think the Prophecy hand cannon does roll with it, so you do have a chance to kind of go and farm for that. So check those 2 videos out. And if you are into your Destiny, Spider-Sides did another fantastic build this week with Moon Knight from Marvel Comics for the Hunters.
What? No.
Yeah. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
What? Dude, I'm sorry. Look, I know you like me as Red Hood, but Moon Knight was a Marine. No, where's that at? Show me.
There you go.
Where? In the
They
chat?
will be linked in our show notes. And please check out our show notes, because if you can't access them on YouTube, you should be able to click the link that goes to our Podbean page that has all the links, and then you can click on them and see all these fantastic videos that people do post. I mean, I know most of them are well-known YouTubers, but sometimes there are some hidden ones in there that are from just like some unknown people.
And sometimes you're just going, Nitedemon talked about something. Which one was it? And that's where you can find them all.
Where did you post
Exactly.
it? Where is
I haven't posted it yet.
In the show notes.
It'll be in the show notes.
You have to listen. You have to listen to the episode.
Subscribe to Spider-Side and you'll be able to see it.
Oh, Spider-Side. I can just...
There you go. So check out the Shattered Realm guides. Ibontis has got you from weeks 1 to 3 on how to do the legendary versions. So all of those Shattered Realms, if you are still needing to do those. If you're going to try and do it solo, because there is a challenge to do it solo or a triumph to do it solo. So have a go at doing that. But most of the time you can take in a team. Then our Tangled Shore guides that I've collected, I'm still collecting them. If anybody knows of anything else that's kind of going away that we're not covering, or is a helpful video for anybody that's new to Destiny and wants to get this stuff done before the Witch Queen, we've got Time Sausage Gaming giving you emblems, Zombie Ben giving you sparrows to collect before the Witch Queen. Cade Sparrow guide, the Gambler's Palm. Datto giving you a guide on the Wish Ender exotic bow. Then we've got region chests and secret treasure emblems for you to check out. Then the full list of Grandmasters Nightfalls for tips for like the 6 that are up in the rotation at the moment. So as with next week, we've got the Lake of Shadows coming up. So in there we have Fallout Plays above, giving you 2 guides for the Lake of Shadows.
Yo, every way I've tried to spell Spider Side, it comes up with Spider-Man movies. How the hell do you spell his name?
Oh, just
CYDE, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, go to the links of the last week's show, and Spider Sides is in there.
Or do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, check out if you are looking for tips on how to do the Grandmasters, or even just the Nightfalls. If you're just doing the Master Nightfalls, which I've been doing because sometimes the Grandmasters are too hard, even for me. These tips are really helpful.
Even for you, what are you? Some kind of a shut up.
Sometimes they're too hard. Like this week, there's no way I'm doing the GM this week. I tried about 5 or 6 weeks ago when it first came up. I can't even get, there's a triumph, right, for the Hollow Layer, to not take any arc damage in that final room. Do you think I can do it? No. I've not been zapped by one arc thing in that room, and still it will not give me that triumph. I do not understand. I've played it on the most basic Nightfall, and it still won't get. It's 25 triumph score, and I cannot do it. The only way that I think I can do it is if I die, kill myself first when I jump into the room, and let the other 2 deal with it. But they keep rezzing me. Just don't res me. I want to die. I don't want to take any arc damage. You guys complete it. I'm just going to stay here dead in the corner. But trying to communicate that to people that want to actually do it is a different thing. So. Anyway,
I'm disappointed. I mean, no.
You're always disappointed.
Well, no, it looks exactly like Moon Knight now that I see it, but it also looks like every other hunter I've ever seen in the game.
And also in our useful links that we do have, we have Kingsley Mack from Guardian Hub with his known issue list. So if you have known issues, check that out. There's the D2 armor picker that really does help you out with your armor. The D2 gunsmith if you're looking for weapons and what perks can roll on certain weapons. Type it into gunsmith. D2 gunsmith.
Light.gg.
And what does Light.gg do?
Light.gg gives you every possible perk on every possible gun that can roll with it. It tells you everything about guns, flat out. Just whatever you want to know about a gun. That tells
Guns, armors, perks, all the things.
all the things.
Yeah, we have all the links for like cosmodrome.page, lonelydevs.com, Destiny podcast lists. There's the other Destiny podcasts you could listen to, not just us. Although we'd like you to stick around for just us. You could download those as a second and third kind of show. Maybe.
We will give you every last bit of information, and I do mean every last bit of information. If you want some of the information, you can go somewhere else, but we will give you all of it. All the information you could ever want and more.
And then there's also our links to, our Discord. If you want to join our Discord and just throw stuff at us, questions. You won't get many answers that often, but you can ask us.
You can be ignored like everybody else.
Yeah.
What, you think you're special? Rizniz?
We had another bit of feedback from the Only Blade on Twitter saying, hey, Peroty, I keep hearing you talk about trials and hoping for a loot refresh. Did you not know that was coming with Xur in the future as a locked roll and not with Saint as a random roll? And which I replied, Q Nitedemon telling me he told that to me 16 weeks ago on this very show, and Respawn said most likely. So, did I know that? No. Was I told that in the past?
Did you know
Probably.
that? Yes. Did you retain that?
Right.
No.
It even when I read it, it did seem vaguely familiar, but even then I was like, that seems like a thing I heard, but I did not have any recollection that was a thing. So I'm glad Xur can be more useful, but that doesn't help me today.
Can I tell you something?
No, I got a last breath worth of adrenaline.
Can I tell you something?
That in episode 122, you told me that very information. I have the clip all ready to show me.
I have no idea what you're going on about. So does that make you feel better?
It does actually, yeah. So at least two of us are absolutely clueless about Xur and locked rolls.
He has to be lumped in with us. All 3 of us are clueless on this.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh, come on, you're clueless most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. If anybody had a clue, if it was you, I think
I feel directly attacked here. What
You
the
are
hell?
directly attacked here.
you should be.
Why?
Why not?
Exactly.
I mean, that's your job here. I mean, in a world where I can directly attack you or not, why would I choose not to?
Yeah. I want to argue that, but I got no ground to stand on. Damn it.
I mean, you're having a red letter week. You got the Vex Mythoclast. You got charges removed from the game.
Ew!
I mean,
That's
I mean, you're on top of the world. I'm worried your ego might become too big, so I have to knock you back down at least a little bit, just for balance.
I'll give you that. I got a hothead with adrenaline and demolitionist.
This is see, we talk about balancing patches. This is the respawn balancing patch. Respawns have too many good things happen. We need to balance it out by like a little bit of negativity in his life. So,
yeah.
No. The good thing, there's not too many good things that happen. Look. I'll be honest with you.
Or two of them,
Look, the Vex is definitely a good thing, right? Right. But honestly, even if I didn't get the Vex this week, which I did, but even if I didn't, the shining light is the Titan nerf, right? And I'm not actually trying to pick on the Titans, but since D1, D2, forever, I've complained about the Titan one-shot melees are just too much. It's BS. It needs to be addressed.
This morning,
they never addressed it, and now they have.
I'm going to talk over the top of you. This morning, I had no Ascendant Shards. I have now 4 Ascendant Shards. That's amazing.
They just fall out of the sky every time I run a Nightfall. Like not even like a super high power one. They're just like here. You don't seem like you have.
I don't know where he's going wrong with his. I can't get anything from these Nightfalls. I've got 4, and I've got 54 of the enhancement prisms.
Yeah, I can't go weapons.
I've never stacked that out.
I don't get high end drops, dude. I just don't. Not the ones I need.
Are you checking that? Oh, I give up.
No, I will record it. I have recorded Nightfall for Monday Nightfalls with friends for like 6 hours, and I'll get like 2 shards.
Look,
or whatever.
We've discussed this. You're not running it with the right people. You need a Titan there to bless you. It's the only way you're going to get things.
Titan. Micah only.
No. You need me. Obviously, I'm your good luck charm. I'm your good luck charm.
Good luck with that. Your ass is never online when I'm online.
Exactly.
Because he lives in the future. And not far enough in the future, like to loop back around to our present, but like just enough in the future to be obnoxious.
Is he enough in the future to close the show? Because my kid has a stinky.
I don't think he is.
No.
Burning my nostrils with it.
I think
Parody's the only person that can close this show.
All right, Parody, can you do that?
I think we'll hand the close over to Non-Arf today. Oh, what's that?
Is he here?
It's not here. No, not Arf and Geark have both left us.
No, he's never here.
So I think it's time to say thank you to your Titans who are no longer shoulder charging you. Your hunters no one respawns in real life now with the Vex Mythoclast, new and improved. Your lore scribe, not here, not Arf. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Find the show on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at, you guessed it, 2titansandahunter. Find us online. Don't find us online. I can't tell you what to do. Listen to our show. We will give you all the information. You're tired of hearing from me. I'm tired of talking to you. Until next week, say goodbye, Guardians.
Yes.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Oh, and before we go, don't forget our competition is still running to hunt down Na'Arth. You could be the winner of some silver in-game currency for Destiny if you can hunt this man down, if you can provide us with pictures or videos. The best one wins. We haven't had anything yet, but just
So I
submit
guess
it.
this is the only one.
Yeah.